So, as we had last left it off, the intense battle between Far, who was in her demonic Bahir form, Vectra, the blue dragon, also known as the Fast, and the silver dragon known as Reichstad the Brave, who you had freed from his mind control and joined in on your side. The battle was intense, almost close. However, Korgrin was able to deal the final blow against Far, destroying her completely. With that, Vectra escaped. Reichstag, too wounded to pursue, let him go. And it was at that where the party started to interact with the stone slab. And it was this when Ezekiel, or the Watcher to Loic, began to show his hand and pleaded very persuasively to get Loic to read from the slab. However, with the encouragement and the advice of his friends, Loic denied him, which enraged Ezekiel to the point where he harnessed all the power that he had accumulated in his many years to take over Loic's body and become a dreaded Baelor. With Loic stuck inside his body, acting as a conduit for his power, Ezekiel then went on a rampage and began to attack everybody. Through bitter-sweat tears, hard feelings, and destructive tendencies, the party fought back until eventually a crack in the armor of Ezekiel appeared. Otti tried to get through it first, however, could not make the jump. However, Arri, seeing that, was able to force her way through, and inside Ezekiel's body she found a mixture of multiple realms formulating into one, and at the center of it was Loic, trapped inside a bubble, under intense pain as the energy was being siphoned out of him. She reached out for his hand, and Loic summoned all the strength of will to grab it, and with that the bonds were broken. The party was blown away by Ezekiel, and as he went to bring in the finishing blow against you all, to burn you to death, Loic appeared in the crack in his armor, controlling the fire, and forcing Ezekiel into nothing. When his flame died away, so did Ezekiel. His power was completely and utterly diminished, and was treated with inside Loic. However, such a feat was overpowering for Loic, and he found himself in a state of purgatory between life and death. It was at this point he found the fabled land of the elves, Galadrim. Was not in fact a real place, but in fact a place one can go after they pass on. And tempted as he was to join this paradise, the calls of his friends, his family, called him back. His soul found its way back inside his body, and he entered into the eternal trance. A state of being which elves and even half-elves can find themselves in, where they sleep for hours, days, weeks, maybe years, maybe centuries, really depends on the individual. Whether he is alive, and one day he may wake up, and that is where we left it. So, the party is standing around Loic's body. Many of you, I assume, are either crying, fighting back tears, or even happy that he is alive. What would you guys like to do?
Is the golden glow from the north still golden and glowing?
Yes, it is.
Probably point that out, make my way over.
Okay, so Korgrin steps up, starts making his way towards the ruined manor of Marcus's former home. The rest of you see him go up the steps and disappear behind the ruined pillars and decrepit walls filled with snow and ice. The rest of you?
Can I pick Loic up and try and follow him and try and follow Korgrin to get him out of the snow, get him under some sort of shelter?
I'll help you pick him up.
It's not an issue. Between the both of you, you're able to pick Loic up, and you follow Korgrin into the manor. As you go, Reichstag begins to hymn something in a low... to the rest of you, it's a growl, but it carries a tune that's almost mesmerizing to hear. None of you understand it except Arrabella, who speaks Draconic.
To be fair.
Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn's rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. So, as you hear this poem, it is beautiful in many ways and highly suitable for what has happened to Loic. Would Arri have translated that to the party as he was saying it?
Yeah. Like, she would have been crying.
He finishes, and you can just about see a tear drop from Reichstag's eyes.
Can I try and catch the tear? Weird as that sounds.
Bottle it.
The tear is actually as big as your head, so sure. You go to catch it and you get splashed.
Okay. I will wring my wet clothes into an empty vial.
He says to you, apologies, I'm not actually doing his voices right because of my cold. I'm sorry, he must have been a very dear friend to you.
He was my half-elf brother.
He was a little shit is what it was.
There you go.
Wasn't there, a little shit. He had his moments.
He did.
A lot of life for 2 weeks of knowing him.
I sung him an old draconic hymn, used only for the noblest of creatures. In all my years, I have never seen such a display of camaraderie and love as what you all display today. Only one group I have ever known
I wonder who.
displayed such talents for each other. I used to call them friends, and they used to live here. I
hope
believe
now you can call us friends instead.
You're certainly on the right path. Loic, this individual Loic you called him, he must be very important to you all to brave such evil to save him.
We are a team. Leave no man behind.
At this point, the sounds of a dragon battle disappear, and it goes quiet. The city quietens because of it. Reichstag looks up and he says, that must mean Vectra must have escaped again. One day you'll get him. He's nothing more than a scheming coward. But I will get him. I promise that.
If we can aid you on that day, you only have to ask.
So Korgrin, you head inside the manor. The manor itself is wholly destroyed, like it was burned down and then just left for the elements to overtake. However, over near the ruined cases of the bookshelf, you can see that there are many, many books there, most of them completely destroyed, but one of them is intact. It's the source of the golden glow. It seems to be emanating, and it seemed the brightness of it seems to it seems to enhance the closer you get to it.
Try and pick it up. Maybe this will help him. I don't really know. I mean, I know he didn't really have a connection to Marcus, but Marcus had a connection to him. You reckon this might help stir him from his little slumber?
So as you pick it up, it felt like it's a strange sensation. You get the initial sensation that it weighs a ton, but as your fingers caress over it, the golden glow stops, and you pick it up as if it's just a normal book. Upon it, you can see... do you read Celestial?
I do not.
You don't know what it says in the front cover.
I do or I don't.
You don't.
No, that's fair enough.
I mean,
You recognise it as Celestial?
Yeah, the snow seal knows how to read Celestial.
So, Korgrin, you cannot read the book. But you do recognise it as Celestial, but obviously you know you don't speak Celestial.
They've heard talking in Celestial to the unicorns before, surely.
I think you did to Unity.
Unity only spoke Celestial, so...
Yeah, I think we're all aware that Verity speaks Celestial.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not doing
does she seem like she's in the mood to be reading? I mean, she's kind of doing whatever that is, and I kind of gesture vaguely toward the flopping sorcerer on the
All of
floor.
us turn and look.
Just snow being flung
No!
about, just wailing.
I
Ah!
control the chaos as a form of control on my own life, but no!
I mean,
Fuck
isn't
it.
that kind of what being a sorcerer is?
Let me turn this bomb to my head, let's go!
I mean, that is true. You're a wild magic sorcerer. You literally have no control over your own actual power.
That's why I try to control everything else around me.
Just give
She's
it to it.
projecting.
Compartmentalize, y'all!
Give it
Right,
to it.
just collapses down onto off of his legs, effectively, to sort of lie down. You can see that the wounds he has are quite significant.
Think you're going to be alright, Dragon Man?
In time, yes.
God, what's...
Vector is a coward, but he is still of my own kind, and as such, it's very hard. However, these wounds are not just from him. I have to give it to you all. Together, you all hit as hard as a dragon.
Oh, we did smack him about a bit, didn't we?
Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, you are a dragon. I mean, we're not going to take that lying down, I suppose.
It's absolutely fine. My mind was not my own.
I can think of no finer compliment from a dragon that we hit as hard as you.
I'll take it.
As Korgrin and the party exit out of the manor and rejoin the rest of you can see something. Off in the distance, there is something very noticeable coming towards you. It looks like a greasy, disgusting, fat, red-skinned, acne-ridden, smelly little imp.
Shoot it!
The bow comes out.
His visage is repulsive, as is his choice of clothing. He looks like a Hawaiian tourist, but in completely the wrong environment, and with extra brightness to make us look that much more hideous.
And we don't even know what Hawaii is to confuse us even more.
What adventures lie in store with this creature? What stories will be told? What friendships will be born? Before you can even contemplate this, however, the imp's head explodes from a bluish energy blast. You all turn to look at the source, to see Loic sitting up, looking bewildered. That was a fast.
Loic, why are you shooting fucking imps?
Why is it an imp? What?
Why does Loic look like that? What's going on?
I was gonna kill it anyway.
Loic, you've woken up. You're fully aware of everything that has happened. It just took you a few minutes to collect your senses in order to shake off the effect that Zagul placed upon you.
Can I use like thaumaturgy and prestidigitation to make like and like a little confetti cannon just go?
Yeah.
Like kick Loic in the ribs.
That was your welcome back to the land of the living. Loic.
You're looking around. Your senses come back to you. You can still feel Ezekiel, but he's barely more than a pinprick inside you at the moment. His presence is completely and utterly diminished, but his power is completely yours to control, and you're very confident that, at least for the rest of your life, Ezekiel will not have any kind of presence in the material realm.
I'm gonna go over and just kind of give the party like a little embrace, like a pat on the shoulder, a hug. I kind of realized that I did that to them, even though it was out of my control. I still did not mean for them to be involved in this, even though I really appreciate what happened.
Can I investigate him to make sure he's not one of the undead and got bitten by a zombie? Didn't mention it to anyone.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bella's already given him a big hug, so in case of zombies, it might be me.
I go up to Verity, who's kind of.
Otti, you're very, very confident that you would know what a zombie would look like, or a zombie bite would be, considering your experience with them previously. Loic's definitely not one of those.
I go up to Verity because I can see she's kind of unhinged, maybe by my presence. I go up to her. I put my hands in front. My child,
Toby on you. I
have banished the god that tormented my soul, risen above, and claimed his powers for my own.
He's still preaching.
Do not be afraid. For I am now the Watcher, and I will be a far more caring and giving God.
You and I shoot him in the foot.
I tried to tell you.
I punch him in the ribs.
I've already got my bow gun.
As you're preaching, Korgrin comes up and just punches you in the wrist. Oh!
As I go over to hug them, the entire party just destroys me.
You attacked us, and then you scared us by pretending to be in a coma. I knew you were faking it the whole time.
No, you didn't. You really thought it was going to be an imp, didn't you?
I thought
with the name of Anna's shit for brain.
My acting range is deep. I could have played that character off well.
Hey, so what? You want me to cast some magic at this man? Well, all right, I suppose I can do that.
Why does imagine him sounding like Danny DeVito?
That's exactly what I thought in my head.
Well, I offer you a nice egg in this trying time.
Oh, sorry, I just dropped my magnum condom for my monster dong.
Monster dong.
Yes, I mean,
they're surprisingly hung.
Wonderful.
And Loic is
that mean he's gonna stop preaching, or
the preaching will not stop, my child. For I have been blessed.
I punch him in the ribs again.
Oh, Jesus, man! Jesus, Frank!
If I hear the words "Watcher" one more time, I swear everything that's divine will bury you under your house.
Korgrin, listen, please, my son. Korgrin. The Watcher the Watcher is still within me, but I now control his power. I have now entrapped him within a prison from what he may not escape.
I mean, you say you did. I think we were kind of responsible for that.
Someone told me to do this. However, Toby is so happy that Loic is
Yeah,
back.
that's true. I give Rennas like a nice, like little like
He's landed
jab.
on Loic's shoulder and he's just snuggling him.
I now have a song in my head, which is Verity's fault because she watched that.
Now we can finally use his power for our own exploits.
Who's that? What's that?
Can I
Well,
toss
we
him
still
the
have to free your people. Our people.
Our people. My moment in the spotlight has been full of trials and tribulations. I am more than happy to at least rest and recuperate over the next couple of days or years, or for the rest of my life until I free the elves.
Now I got another song in my head. Cheers.
Can I
So
throw
even,
the book to Loic, by the way?
Even though Reichside just met you, you can definitely tell that he's happy from this turn of events.
All right, can I look through the book that Korgrin throws me?
All right, can you read Celestial?
I can read demonic.
Well,
Kind of the opposite,
It's
my
the
friend.
opposite of
sorry,
Celestial.
that doesn't sound like Celestial to me.
I think this is yours, but Marcus's house, I don't know. I mean, you were dead, now you're not. I should put you back in the ground, but I won't. So
But I
do
don't
with
even
it what
need
you
to read
please.
Celestial. I can read everything. Fuck. I forgot I even took that. Damn it.
Well, you go speak to the preacher about the fucking magic book.
Do we not get to level up when Loic dies? We got to level up when I died and when Wicca died.
Oh no, Loic got his thingamajig. He got his extra boons, but unfortunately, that wasn't a level up.
Oh, okay. I can hope.
Looks like King Malchiah's dead for real, guys.
We got a little while.
Oopsie
We've
doodle.
got fuck all. We've got like 3 days.
I thought we had 4.
Like 4 or 5, something like that. I've got it written down in my
Wait, what?
Because it's only been
We've
3
got-
days since he died.
We've
hasn't
got
it?
we've got 7 basically.
Oh.
So, Loic,
7.
Loic and Korgrin, do you show Verity the book?
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
have possession of it anymore, so it's up to Loic.
Right. So, Loic, you bring it over to Verity. Verity, you have a look at it. It says Divinity book by. Sorry, bloody. Yeah, Divinity book by Marcus Goldgust.
Okay.
And as you start flicking through it, the pages are in Celestial, but they seem to shift about, almost as if the words themselves are dancing or even praying. But you can definitely tell that this is a very powerful item, to the point that you know for a fact that you couldn't possibly wield its power, at least not yet. I'm gonna put this.
Sorry, but Leslie's look up when you said "yeah" was like literally how I was feeling when I was like,
If you look inside your journal, Verity, you'll see Marcus's Divinity book.
well, fancy. I stabbed Loic with one of the corners.
What the fuck, dude? He just
It has
died.
very pointy corners.
The book itself has essentially got a golden ring around it with 6 golden spikes, almost like clock handles on both sides, 3 sticking up, 3 sticking down. So yeah, there is essentially a little golden spike that you can be jabbed with, Loic. So
You guys, you know.
I take my hands off of my bruised rib plate. I take my hands off my bruised rib cage and bring them to my bloodied forehead.
Cry.
Like, this book requires attunement to someone with a wisdom of 23, or directly related to Marcus, which was Wicca, right?
That'd be
that's right, yeah.
Perhaps you may teach me how to read this book. Perhaps you may read me this book.
Do you have
Read it to me, seven child.
I'll be there in just 15 more wisdom.
I mean, what is
All right, so I mean, it will take you about probably I'd say the better part of an evening to translate this book for other people to read.
Bitch! Whilst wielding this book, your DC is risen by 5 and your spell attack bonus is risen by 7. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, alright, tell you what, I'll just put it in everybody's journal so you can read through it.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Sorry, I'll mute myself.
Right, so you can all read it now.
Spoiler sport, taking away all the fun.
I mean, do we want to...
As far as your characters are concerned, you can't, until Verity translates this, you don't know what it does.
It's so
I
pointy.
mean, after I translate it, I'd probably give it to Korgrin because it's kind of a cool thing. And even though I am celestial and magnificent in my own way, it has like.
Could I have it just to throw at people? Look how pointy it is. I could do damage with that.
Can't you wield it before she's attuned to it?
I'm sure I can poke someone with the spikes, bruh.
Well, I'm just saying that the spell attack take place now.
You could use it as a melee weapon for 1d4 points of damage.
It's an improvised weapon.
Is it bad that I kind of want one of the curses?
Yes. That's why it's called a curse.
But lycanthropy...
You've been cursed once.
Clearly, Arri is an addict.
To be fair. Was lycanthropy one of them? Because lycanthropy is sick.
Yeah, lycanthropy,
Depending on what
vampirism,
kind of like-
petrification, soul contract with the devil. I mean, you know, I'll sell my soul for a good price.
Anyway, do we want to take a look at our own family homesteads first before we out the fuck of here?
Yeah, sounds like an
Yeah,
idea.
let's have a look around.
There are items that help you increase wisdom. You cannot naturally raise your wisdom over 20.
Yeah, my wisdom's 8. I'm definitely not wielding this book ever. But that's fine.
Mine's 13.
So I think Otti's strength at the moment is 5, so she cannot go above that naturally anymore unless she has magical items to do so.
You strong.
I strong.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, when I finish reading this book...
Alright, so as Verity is basically giving you guys the rundown and the general gist of what this book is, soon enough, the sounds of metal footsteps echoes throughout the area.
Oh, never mind.
Turning to look the way you came in, you can see dozens of knights charging in. You can hear somebody shout, "It originated from over here! This way! Near the Kingslayer ruins!" And as they draw nearer, they notice you and they begin moving aggressively. But then they double take what they thought was a snowy ruin to actually be Reichstag. They all skid to a halt, looking confused and bewildered. Some even drop to one knee and bow before Reichstag.
As they should.
Eventually, one knight steps forward, an elderly-looking human male with short grey hair, golden armour, and a sigil of 2 galloping stallions. Go ahead. Can I just get a group history check, please?
Yes.
Look, it's Anna's shit for brain.
Imagine my shock at rolling bad.
So, Arri, Verity, Otti, you guys all and Bella as well. So you 4, you recognise the sigil to belong to the knight known Gaius Credilo. Not a long-standing knight of respectable reputation. Not a massive hero or anything like that, but he's been around for a long time for people to know who he is, at least. So Gaius looks up at Reichstag, who's looking down upon him, and you can see. Actually, I'll hold. There you go.
Hey, I got his surname right, fucked up his first name.
I got his first name right.
Between you, you're both perfectly right and very, very wrong.
Yeah. One of us is completely perfectly right. The other
and
is
together you can be correct all the time.
What?
So, Gaius is looking up at Reichstag. You can see a hint of respect and fear is on his face. "Oh, great Reichstag the Brave. We did not expect to see me here, Creedalon. I go where I am needed, and today I was needed here. As Reichstag cuts across him, Gaius, who obviously mustered his courage to address Reichstag, falters a little bit. He bows even lower, and so eventually he starts saying with shaking boots, "Mighty Silver Dragon, the Blue Coward, Vectra the Fast. He has attacked our city and fled towards the mountains. If you could pursue him." Now, Reichstag just looks at him and just gives a long, sawn-out dry, and you can all tell that he's responding with a tired, almost annoyed look. Gaius, your observational skills match that of your father and your grandfather. As you can see, I am wounded from my battle with Vectra, and in no position to pursue. Gaius just goes completely red. He says, "My apologies, great Reichstag. Allow me to..." And at this point, he notices the party again, and he's just looking over at you guys, and then looks back to Reichstag and he says, "Are these intruders part of your entourage?" Reichstag puffs his chest out a little bit and he says, "Actually, they are my saviors. It is fortuitous luck that only Vectra attacked today, for my mind was dominated by a great evil demon. I would have attacked beside him, but these brave adventurers broke that hold, and together we destroyed the demon on this very ground. Valiantly and desperately they fought to prevent Vectra's escape. They are worthy of the highest honors."
At that point, can I just make a point of taking off any hat, anything covering my ears? I want to display my ears proudly. No, because Reichstag vouching for us, and I just want to make it very clear that half elves can be good people.
So as you do that, a lot of them shoot you immediately dirty looks before looking down in reverence towards Reichstag.
Don't scare me like that. Don't start a sentence with a lot of them shoot me immediately.
Clearly, their respect and reverence for Reichstag trounces their prejudice against half-elves for now. Gaius turns towards you all, and he bows slightly, and he says, "I see. The city is indebted to you, strangers. What name do you go by?"
We're the guys that escorted the tribute. The Forgettables. I don't know.
The Unforgettables.
Have you forgotten?
I guess you could say that, aye.
I believe that is the name of the ones who brought forth the tribute a few days ago. Well, this city is made safer by your very presence. We shall forego any punishment for trespassing upon temple grounds, and a suitable bounty, say 5,000 gold, would suffice.
Would you actually mind us doing a quick lap as well, just to make sure there aren't any more demons on temple grounds? I mean, as you can see, we're clearly capable. After all, we do have a dragon's respect.
There is a quicker way to do that.
To whom are you referring?
Arri's primary awareness.
No, we don't actually want to do that. We want to go and search our ancestors' houses.
Yeah, we want some peace.
I want you to make a persuasion roll.
Do you want...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
He says, very well. Well, how long do you need? 10 minutes?
Oh, no. This is very thorough. I mean, as you can see, I'm a cleric. I know what to look for. Demons can be very, very subtle and leave magical incantations about so they can return at a later point. We've got to check all of these grounds and make sure that there are no such summoning or returning portals. It might take us the rest of the day. We would appreciate privacy because, as you can see, this is a demon summoning crime scene, and what we need is peace, quiet, and for the evidence to not be tampered with.
We'll give you an hour.
Make it 2.
An hour.
Hour and a half.
Hour.
Fine. Hour.
Very well. We shall remain on site, just in case you need our backup for any more demons that may come. If word got out that demons were wandering around in temple grounds, well, frankly, our reputations would be tarnished a little.
I can only imagine.
At this point, Reichstag turns to you and he says, I am also indebted to you, brave ones. If there is something I can do for you, please state your reward, and I shall use everything in my power and status to grant it.
Your
Can you get
friendship
us
is...
in? Go on, after you.
Well,
If the
mine's
party
going to
wants
kind of
discuss
overshadow
this
yours. You
amongst
want to go
themselves,
first?
go ahead.
What was that, Jack? Sorry?
If the party would like just take a moment from Reichstag and just discuss this amongst themselves, go right ahead.
Do we want to ask him if he can get us in to see the king?
Oh, that's a good shout. I
I'd love to free the elves, but I've taken up enough of the time.
Other opinions? Other ideas?
Do you think you
I mean,
can get me some braces?
Well, I was about to say your friendship is reward enough, so don't rely on me.
Otti, Arri, Verity, Loic.
Well, Arri's just posted in Discord that she's crashed on everything.
I would not be opposed to maybe trying to make a bid for freeing the half elf district, but the king idea is also pretty good as well.
I get the feeling the dragon's not going to be able to liberate the half elf district. That's a lot more ingrained.
But we can petition the king of that if we get in to see him.
I'm down with it. I like the king plan. I'm just throwing another potential option out there, but I'm down with it.
Ooh, actually, how do we feel about asking Reichstag if he perchance has, say, enough gold to purchase a raised dead scroll, or if he has a raised dead scroll lying around anyway?
That would be a hell of a favor.
Just in case, not that we actually have a use for it, but it's always handy to have. Haha.
I just died. What if I die again? We could need it.
No, that is a very good shout. Dragons sound likely to be able to do that. Like how much gold was it when you asked?
Tens of thousands.
Oh, okay. So the 5 we just got with the reward isn't going to go farther.
Korgrin, my son, you really know the way of the divine.
We could just ask him, oh hey, you're a dragon. Do you mind going to the temple, politely asking for a raised dead scroll, returning to us and giving us said raised dead scroll?
I just picture the silver dragon waddling through the congested streets on his way to the temple.
Excuse me, sorry. Oh, I'll pay for that cart. I'm terribly. Oh, I'm so deeply sorry.
Exactly.
Doom.
Not a lot. We just
Reichstag destroyed carts and some trade stalls, like a big cheese day kind of thing. He's just walked through town and destroyed everything.
Okay. Cool.
But no, Harry,
you're back. So, the party's just discussing what they want to ask Reichstag as a reward at the moment. The two topics that are the two front runners are asking Reichstag to see if you can petition a meeting with the king, or to see if he's got a raised dead scroll,
or can get one.
I mean, potentially the raised dead scroll will hopefully lead us to a way of seeing the king. So it kind of answers both problems.
True.
Yeah, I kind of want a wormling, but that's just selfish. But I'd go with raised dead scroll.
Okay, we'll go with the raised. Just bring him in and whisper in his ear so that the knights don't overhear.
Okay, I'll whisper in his ear. I'm gonna go reset the internet because I'm currently on my mobile data.
To be fair, yell it as loud as you like, just in Draconic. I doubt any of these knights speak it.
Hey, they're knights. They might be educated.
Okie doke.
Yeah,
we are going with the raised dead scroll. Okay, be back in a minute, I suppose. See you then.
You may hear me have a conversation with my dad.
Alexa, set a timer for 6 minutes.
He's talking to Alexa.
Alexa, reset the internet. That will destroy me.
Hold it.
Like, my whole mission has been to, like, raise a half-elf opinion sort of thing. And what better way to do that than be praised by a fucking dragon?
Rennas, I like the idea you got here, man. You can be like the face up front, and I can be doing operations around back. We can like make this thing happen.
I mean, I could also do operations from rooftops while hidden, as I've already proven.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, I am a living
But
god.
only with the party's permission.
There's not a lot that's outside
Murder
of
is
my
bad. Fuck you, dwarf.
Murder is bad unless we all decide it's okay.
Unless they deserve it. And even then, you go through the proper channels. You petition the king to commit murder first.
Lots of them do deserve it, to be fair.
I mean, yeah, but you can't just walk around the street going, "You're a dick, bang. You're a dick, bang."
Yeah.
I mean,
With the power of gun, I condemn you.
I could.
Rennas, I as a god condone that behavior.
I think we need to leave this up to a vote, and then obviously, so the two options is audience for the king and raise dead scroll. So put a vote in the chat, please.
This is
I
rough.
think we decided, didn't we?
Arri goes scroll.
Scroll.
I think Scroll is the winner.
To be fair, at this point, we have built up so much clout, especially if we have the estranged heir to the throne, that we might be able to get an audience ourselves.
But
Well,
I made sure that I put the letter in for recommendation that we go and see him. So based on this, based on the fact that now all these knights know our name, and I put the name on the paperwork, I think this is going to give us a good chance.
I like it.
Okay, what's going on here? Why is it not? My cheat sheet's not working for some reason.
Try
Okay,
up, down, A, B.
So you turn to Reichstag, and what exactly do you say to him?
Do you have a raised dead scroll or means to purchase one?
Would you happen to have a raised dead scroll in your hoard, or would you be able to purchase one with? I don't know. Would you be able to just ask one of the churches for one? I mean, is that something you can do? Just walk up and be like, "I'm Reichstag the Brave. I have need of a raised dead scroll. Can I have one, please?"
Well, I can. I personally do not have one in my hoards.
Understandable.
I can certainly ask around. Shouldn't be too difficult for me to get. I'm personal friends with many of the head clerics in this city.
That would be so fantastic. You've no idea how grateful we'd be for that.
Have you lost someone close to you?
I mean,
Yeah.
we're trying to stop us losing someone close to us. I mean, you just saw what happened to Loic. Heaven forbid
Very understandable, yeah.
we lose another. Aye.
I see. Well, I shall definitely act upon this. I will retreat to the Skyhold district for now. I need to tend to my wounds, but once I'm able, I'll ask around and send forth a raised dead scroll to you as soon as it's possible.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Is it worth mentioning the 7-day deadline?
No, if we did need to see you in the Skyhold district, where would we find you, perchance?
Well, I have a house there that Frank, are you allowed in the Skyhold district?
Yeah, we'll get there either way.
Maybe you could allow us to go.
I mean, we're not allowed here, so, you know.
Well,
Stop time.
he then addresses the knights and says, "Let it be known that these individuals known as the Unforgottens are hereby under my protection. They will not be exiled from the city. They will not be subject to any unfair or discriminatory behavior. And if they have need to come into the Skyhold district, if anybody denies them, send them to me and I'll have a chat with them."
I think I love a dragon.
He turns to rescuers and he gives you his address in the Skyhold district.
Oh, we got his address. Cute.
Fantastic.
Mm.
Stag,
And with that, Reichstag stretches his wings and says, "Well, until we meet again, unforgettables." The few mighty beats of the wings with winds blowing everybody away briefly, he takes flight and starts flying up nearer the walls and the towers that make up the sky. You can hear people cheering as he flies overhead. He's definitely a local celebrity. As he's flying away, Gaius Creedlow looks at you and says, "Well, you have an hour. We'll be around the immediate area if you need us, but you off you go then."
Yes, thank you, Sir Gaius. We'll get underway right now.
And as you guys begin making your way towards the upper parts of the ruins, you can hear some of the other knights saying, "They're under protection from Reichstag. Do you see what? One of them's a filthy fucking half-elf. How does he get protection from a dragon and I don't? I'm a knight." And you get the feeling that many of the people that are standing there have an unwarranted sense of importance about them.
I wave as I walk off.
So,
one of them shoots you.
Whose house would you like to go to first?
Do we all just want to split up and go to our respective houses, or do we not want to split the party?
I mean, I think this is a safe place.
Attack us?
Oh, that's a fair point, actually. I was about to say this is safe. No one's been there.
Pair up and do 2 houses each.
I mean, what could be worse than a Baylor, an evil dragon, a hag that was a demon lord? I mean, at this point, we got it, guys.
At this point, if someone sneezes on me, I die.
I mean, I'm all for the pair up and go to 2 houses each idea.
Yeah, I'm up for a pair.
It's gonna take the same amount of time no matter what.
Yeah, but I suppose it's numbers, you know, it's safety in numbers and all that kind of shit.
Perhaps they see something you might not. Cumulative.
But I mean, if we're all together, it's going to take, in terms of roleplay, the same amount of time, so we might as well just all do them.
Yeah, cool.
So you suggesting the 1 person per house, or just the group goes everywhere?
All of us go. We might as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Okay, I mean, it's still 10 minutes per house.
That brings me back to my original question. Whose house are you going to go to first?
Which is the nearest one?
They're all equally the same distance, to be honest.
Clockwise it is then. So
think of the group of ruined manors here, effectively like their own little cul-de-sac.
Yeah, go clockwise. Start with the northernmost. If that's Marcus's, then we'll go to northeast. If we've been there, go to east.
It's essentially the Victor's Court from Hunger Games.
It is, yeah. I was thinking that. You'll get nice fancy houses and rations for the year.
True.
Loic would request to go a little bit later in the order. You know, I could use some time to recalibrate.
We are literally already at Marcus's house.
Yeah,
that's fine. But I can make it happen.
So, moving over to the closest house, going clockwise. Walking inside its ruins, you get the feeling that the individual here did not have a lot. Bare materials, if anything. It is big and spacious, and certainly had its definite wealth and appeal. However, its rustic and charm, as it were, still lingers. The house, you can clearly tell, was burned down, as was the rest. However, there wasn't much in here to burn, so therefore much of the structure still remains intact, as the fire did not catch on much. And walking around, looks like this place had a number of bedrooms. You know, it had its own eating hall. The kitchen was relatively well stocked, from what you could tell. The fire didn't actually reach this room as much, and the food that was left has now since rotted away into pretty much nothing. Moving a little way through, you can eventually find a semi-ruined portrait. And looking at it, you can see a glorious orc, female, with great gingerish kind of reddish hair in several braids. She has several scars on her face, and her teeth, or her tusks even, were exceptionally small, actually. One could even almost just pass them off as just simple fangs in a normal set of teeth. Beside this individual is where most of the ruined portrait is. Appears to be some male that was standing there, hand on the shoulder of this orc, pale skinned. It looks more of a male, looks more of a human hand, if anything. However, the exact specifications, the exact visage of who this male was is now lost. And just at the base of the portrait, where the fire was almost consumed it, however, there is still a good section, is a smaller half-orc. In the green skin is much more lighter, and she has that look about her of inquisitive wonder, all about everything, everywhere. Everything was amusing and intriguing to her. A general sense of innocentness is placed upon her eyes and her features. With blonde hair and a flowery dress and knees showing with it looks like the artist has definitely included a few scabs on them just to accentuate just how much of a runner this little half-orc is. And Otti, as you look at this portrait, you know instinctively that you were looking at your mother as a little girl and your grandmother, Eleanor.
Is it like on the wall?
No, it fell down from the ruined wall and was half buried in snow before you found it.
How big is it?
It's about the size of a regular portrait. It's something that was something that's framed up and put on the wall. I'd say probably about the size of a person's torso. Maybe a little wider.
I pick it up, and
Yep.
I'm just gonna like go and sit, like find somewhere to sit and just like observe every single detail about the figures in.
Okay. So, as Otti stares at this picture, many of you who grew up with her know that this is the first time she has ever seen her mother and her grandmother. An unknown lineage to her that was kept from her by her father, Norad, for reasons of his own. I think the only person who can truly describe what Otti's feeling right now is Otti.
So this is like the first time she was told that her mother died when she was very, very young, and it was basically not allowed to talk. not even allowed to know her name. Grace was the one name. She's very blasé about it. She's very like, yeah, it happened, whatever. So this is like really gut wrenching. This is really emotional, and a lot of emotion, a lot of sadness, but a lot of anger that she was, that she was not allowed to be part of her life, and that she was never allowed to talk about her. So she's just looking at trying to work out why was she such a bad person that all this happened.
A few minutes pass. Mosey's still looking at the portrait of her family. Is there anything else the party would like to do or say to her?
Just lightly lay a hand on her shoulder.
I mean,
not say anything, but just put it there. Squeeze gently, and then move on.
Like I said, we can cut it out of the frame and take it with us if you want. Roll it up, put it in the bag.
That was the plan, was just to take the frame anyway, to be fair. I was just going to just like pick up and walk out with it.
I don't know if the frame would fit in your bag, but the painting definitely would. Rennas can probably cut a painting out of a frame.
You just break the frame and the parchment can be rolled up.
Yeah, that's literally the best thing to do.
I mean, save us walking out of here, like, because we're meant to be looking for demons, not loot with these guys. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, guys, we think this painting is cursed. We need to take it away with us.
This painting is cursed. These expensive items are cursed. We need to take all these things.
So, as the party begins to make their way, Otti, are you taking the portrait or the frame?
My hands will be a little bit shaky, so I'm going. Bella, can you help?
Yeah, I'll give you a hand.
Right.
And we just take it out.
Take it out.
Roll out.
Yeah.
Right, so you just gently smash the frame open, you pull the half-burnt portrait out and wrap it up and put it in your bag. You can go ahead and put in your inventory, Otti, portrait of Eleanor's family.
Not to be that person, but at the end of the day, our grandparents were incredibly powerful people. Maybe some of that led back to their parents as well. Do we want to look around our childhood homes or our parents' or grandparents' homes just to see if there's anything that might allude to the fact of what was done here? Or something that was left behind for us to inherit, for lack of a better way of putting it?
Yeah, I think it's worth.
Even Rennas, being the person he is, does not feel comfortable looking around the other party members' childhood homes.
Which is why I'm saying respectfully.
Yeah.
I mean, I think anything of value here would have been taken by the capital.
Not value necessarily.
Like anything which would have any
history.
Hmm.
Loic, I want you to make a history check, please.
They might not be aware of the historic significance.
It's not gonna be good, but
we might be lucky, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, unfortunately, Loic, you don't know what would have happened.
Humans are humans.
Wow!
Wow.
Loic is smart. He's came back smarter.
Outstanding move. I'm not saying rummage through, your grandma's knickers, but
Bella whips out a notebook and writes down, "Humans are humans."
It's so simple, it's so obvious.
Wow.
Stand outside, and the person that lived or was relative there can look through. All I'm saying is, we're not going to get this opportunity again. Do we want to make the most of it?
No, I'm absolutely for that, and I absolutely want to really have a look around, see if there's any slightest thing of this family that still remains here. I want to see it.
I will help her look while making sure that I stay within Otti's sight at all times, because I don't trust her not to accuse me of just looting everything later.
So, in regards to Eleanor's house, can I get a group investigation check, please?
Sure thing.
Investigation?
Yeah.
Blue.
I had to check what everyone else is rolling. I was like, what am I rolling?
Oh, we are not doing well.
Nope.
So, as the party combs this house, I'd say you spend a good extra 5 minutes going through this house, just looking through all the nook and crannies that remain. And you get the feeling that if there was anything of any significance here, it was either burned down or taken already.
Okay.
So, the party leaves Eleanor's house. Making your way into the next one. This one is definitely a far sight different from the other ones. You get the feeling that the objects that were in here were incredibly expensive. Like everything in here that you see just adds up. Like Rennas, I mean, you have an eye for expensive things. You think that chair that's worth 1,000 gold. That table that's worth 10,000 gold. You know, everything you just see was like, God, this was a place of wealth, and yet now it is all destroyed and utterly ruined.
What a waste.
As you begin to look around, you find a lot of secret little cubby holes that did look like they only had little knives in them, maybe little crystal bolts, arrows, stuff like that. You know, you get the feeling that this place had a lot of traps in it, like a lot of inbuilt traps that have since been destroyed and looted off. As you're going in and out the halls, everything of this place just screamed decadent wealth. And eventually you come to a bedroom on the half-remained ruins of a second floor. You have to skirt around the edges of the ruined floor lest you fall down to the first floor. As you look inside this particular bedroom, half of the wall has caved in, and now the bed that remained is completely covered in snow and possibly ash. However, just the bed itself actually seems rather intact. The mattress probably fucked beyond belief, but the framework, it's a 4-poster bed, and it definitely looks valuable. As you go over to it, you can see. If you were to lay on the bed and look up on the roof or the underside of the roof of the bed itself, there are dozens upon dozens of names. Each of them have been scratched out.
Do we recognise any of the names?
Make a history check.
Group or just Rennas?
A group, whoever wants to, really.
I'm always going to want to.
I suppose it's being pointed out to the group, so better chance of success. I know fucking nothing. Their names, ha!
Otti, definitely something you have heard of. Just to, in your time as a guard, you obviously stories were swapped of, you know, old famous criminals and how they got away with stuff. Some of these names are the names of criminals that met very sudden, very violent ends. And each of them all told to the story, the mystery that was the Knight of Speed and Shadow, Lorandir.
There it is.
Wow, my ancestors had posh tastes.
And also dealt with criminals.
But they dealt with them in a way that a cleric would approve of. Surely they're all dead.
I stamped off on it.
Yeah, dealt with for sure.
Kind of disconcerting to know that my own grandfather would kill me, but you know, although probably not important enough for him to kill.
Sounds like an assassin.
As you begin to look around this room, Rennas, you going through. There's a half-row chest of drawers, and in one of them is a small silver knife.
Just want to pick it up and test the balance of it?
It's very well balanced. It's very light. And there are some engravings on it.
Ooh.
It's it says, "To my beloved, may this knife cut the darkness towards the light."
I take the knife and I pop it away. Put it back
It is
in my.
it is a silvered knife, so it's a regular knife. So it's only 1d4 worth of damage, but it is silvered, so that can be important for specific creatures.
Yeah. It's a nice memento.
Those with the like hand for the bee.
So, I want, as with Eleanor's house, I want you to do a group investigation for Lorandir's house.
Can I pay special attention to all the
I'm
little,
re-rolling.
special attention to all the little special cubby holes and that we've noticed?
Lucky.
All the little hidey holes.
I'm getting a lot of 11s tonight, noticing. Kind of weird.
Oh, I actually rolled well.
Got 11s.
Going over this place one more time. Spending another 5-ish minutes just looking at what you can. You're pretty confident that there's nothing left, and as you turn to go, Rennas, you do notice something at the base of the front door, underneath where the doormat would have been. Having a quick look at it, looks like it's a false floor.
Ooh!
I lift up the false floor.
Look up as you lift it up. It looks like it's just a simple hiding hole, big enough for a simple hand chest, which is the only things inside the hole at the moment. However, is a letter and a locket.
I pick them both up and I open the locket.
The locket has the picture of a silver-haired baby.
I've never seen my father, so this may be him. And I open the letter.
The letter says, "Lorandir, your son is healthy and happy. I'm going to call him Nathan. I don't know what kind of mission that you're on, but I hope that you'll be over soon. I wish for us to be a family again. When this war is over, maybe instead of fighting, you can learn to love a little more. Yours always, Elizabeth."
And I pop the locket on, tuck it under my shirt, put the letter back in my pocket, and I guess we'll be on our way.
Okay. So, how does Rennas feel about that?
I've never.
Just to make it official, you've effectively found the picture of your father when he was a baby, and you've learned that your father's name was Nathan.
Yep, that is something I did not know. I knew nothing of my dad other than that he died long before I was born. Well, presumably not long before, probably within 9 months of me being born. But yeah, this is emotional stuff. I didn't, it's a picture of him as a baby. It still doesn't really help me know much about him, but I've got his name. I've got a picture of him, and like I said, I'm going to wear the locket, keep that close.
Cute.
Is the party going to react or say anything to Rennas as he's looking emotional after discovering this?
I will explain briefly what they are. I'll say this is a locket, and I'll show them. But the letter I'll just keep to myself.
That's so cool.
I just kind of look at it and I'm like, well, I guess we know it's not Talion then.
That's true.
Very true.
Biscuit man, I'm happy you found that.
And because he's still standing and I can't reach his shoulder, I'll tap him on the hip.
I'll tap him on the shoulder as you do it. Just like, this is what's happening.
I look at Verity. I tell Verity that everyone's dad was a baby at some point. That's how growing up works.
Not wrong.
Bella writes that down too. Fuck.
The half-elf are just full of insight this afternoon.
Jeez.
A little bit ironic considering they also have the lowest wisdom.
Yeah.
So, you move on to the next house. This one is a little smaller than the rest. However, what remains of the halls and the floors, even the ceilings, is just a bombardment of art and colour. Very striking to the eyes. Now, some of the art actually remains, and you get the feeling that the ones that wasn't destroyed by the fire was just left there because nobody actually bloody wanted it. Moving throughout this house, you find a room that was clearly dedicated to musical instruments, now destroyed. You find another room that was effectively a writing study room, part library, now destroyed. You go throughout the house, and it is just a solemn reminder of what was clearly a fun, vibrant home. Now, just a ruin, a shadow, a wisp of a memory. No longer in anyone's minds. The wind is drafty, the snow flutters very delicately onto the carpets, onto the stonework, and it's just all that's left is just a solemn grave where life has been drained from it. Moving throughout the house, you can find, believe it or not, an intact bathroom. Inside this bathroom is a square tub. On the sides of these tubs are several different lotions of various colours. Well, you suspect there were various colours. They have now since rotted away into nothing. But you get the feeling whoever would like to take baths in this size, how big it was, just enjoyed having all kinds of explosive adventures.
Explosive.
And as you're looking around this room, there are a couple of handprints in the stone wall. Two sets of the handprints are medium size, a bit burly, perhaps a little bit. regular human size, shall we say. The other sets of the handprints are massive. They're the size of yours, Bella's. Huge hands. Almost as if like the plaster or the stone in the wall itself was cracked a little bit just from being pushed inwards a bit. And then beneath this is a very small set of hands. Tiny. Belonging to a little girl. And underneath these hands, carved into the wall itself, was a small message. Fortis is forever.
That is very cute. I'm gonna step forward and place my hand into the bigger one and just see how my hand compares.
Yours is like half a centimetre bigger.
Outdid your grandma. Take that. So I'm just gonna let my hand linger there for a sec. Are there names next to the handprints?
No.
And I'm just gonna swipe my hand across the smaller ones and just... I don't know anything about whoever these belong to.
You get the feeling the smaller ones belong to your mother.
Oh, mama. The medium-sized ones, sorry. I know the small ones are mum, but the medium-sized ones.
They would have belonged to potentially your grandfather.
Cute.
As is with the houses before, can I get a group investigation check, please?
I'm only good in my house, apparently.
Makes sense.
I'm just...
We're missing one.
George's, but I think she's back. I know.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's all of us.
So you turn this house upside down, looking for any potential hiding place. However, you're fairly certain that anything of any worth was ransacked a long time ago. And the only thing that is left is just mementos of an artist. Korgrin, however, as you're double-taking the former library, there is one book intact.
Oh, no.
Do I recognize the spine?
Oh, no!
Have I seen a certain half-orc reading a copy?
You get the feeling that you have read a copy of this before.
Oh, no.
Maybe it's got a signature on it.
Hopefully it's just a diary.
I wonder if it's a first edition. Maybe we could sell it for lots of money.
However, Korgrin, do you have a look at it?
I pointed out to Bella. As I said, we'll do this respectfully.
I will take a look at the book.
It is a complete, unedited, finished version of The Hero Rises.
It's a big sign, just like, for fuck's sake, this is my lineage. This is what... Okay,
Just
sure.
pat on the back, it's your legacy now, you got to carry it on.
Do you skim through it, Bella?
No, I'm not looking through it. I'll hand it to Otti.
Otti, do you look through it?
Will someone open the book?
I'll look through the book.
I'll open it, but I'll make sure Bella's looking when I'm just skimming through.
It's exactly the same as the book that you've been reading previously, however the ending is there. And as you just sort of skip over to the back pages, there is a small handwritten message on the back.
I'll lean over the shoulder and read it.
I physically give it. I'd say, read this. I give the book back.
The message is in a very slender handwriting, and it says, "To my dear Melody, I hope your life is far more adventurous than my books."
I didn't. Oh, as soon as the book was there, I was like, oh.
Sorry, what did you say?
I didn't forget that it was my grandma that wrote this. Jesus. Yeah, I'll
how is Bella feeling?
I mean, she's not a fan of the Hero Rises series, so she's just like, okay, Grandma was weird. Put it in the bag. Focus forever. Let's go.
Ballard certainly had an interesting mind, to say the least.
I appreciate the artistry. yeah, my grandma was. Yeah, she got an interesting mind.
She was the knight of song and sword, not the knight of books.
Don't. Why? I knew as soon as you Bella walks off. Hate you guys.
Whilst everybody so far has been having a emotional time with this, Bella walks off looking entirely embarrassed over just obviously how weird Ballard was.
I reckon Ballard was in one of them like open relationships.
Ballard was certainly the one who believed in free love.
Well,
so the party leaves. You move on to the next house. This house is interesting, to say the least. There are rooms that are built specifically for humans, and there are rooms that are built specifically for shorter people.
Could be either.
Wandering through these halls, this one's definitely been ransacked the most. Anything of value was taken. The fires have destroyed most of the building, to the point where the entire second floor was completely caved in, and some rooms are completely inaccessible due to the amount of debris that's on the floor. Wandering through what you can, there is a half-burned mural on one of the walls. The paints that remain display a beautiful woman with shockingly pink hair and a bit of a forlorn look about her. Verity and Arri, you, and to be fair, the party recognizes this person as Grace.
Looks like Nana had a bit of a face.
Searching through what you can, you eventually find a very small box that has been concealed underneath stone and debris. It's a very small lockbox, about the size of 2 palms, effectively. You fish it out of the snow and it is still locked.
Well, you know what I'm going to try and do.
Go ahead and make a dexterity check, add your proficiency bonus, please, as you try to unlock it.
Oh, terrible. +4.
+4, so that brings it to 10. As you go to put your thieves' tools in there, the lock itself falls off completely, as if it was just waiting for the slightest tap to reveal its decayed in age. You swing the box open, and inside you can see a bunch of sealed envelopes, all addressed to the same people. They're addressed to who you know to be Arrabella and Verity, your great-grandparents. They're addressed the same place as the Grace's shack in Greenfold Village. Seems a number of these letters were written, but never sent.
I'm going to open them. Arri is far too curious to not open them.
Okay. So Arrabella, you start opening them and you reading them up. Opening up and reading them. They initially start off with effectively letters of self-praise, of a headstrong youth, bravading to her parents that leaving home was the best choice she ever made, and how she is quickly rising in the ranks of the knights, and how she has taken up with a few similarly equally gifted knights who share her passion for justice and to do away with evilness. Eventually, these letters mellow out a little bit more, and she starts telling more about her new friends and her mentors. She speaks of an individual known as Cain, who has taken to teaching her the great and unknown aspects of magic. She speaks of an elf named Lorandir, who has, as far as she is aware, lived for 4 centuries and was the first elf ever to become a knight. She speaks of Eleanor, an orc who rose to become a knight and faced a great amount of discrimination, and how in her youth anybody who said bad words to her, she punched the living daylights out of them. But eventually she mellowed out and learned to control her anger, and is now the most casual person she's ever met, and she thinks of her as her own sister. She speaks of the individual known as Marcus, so holy, so connected to the gods. She's surprised that a small little gnome holds that much power, that much wisdom inside of him. She speaks of the weirdo known as Ballad, who never fails to make her laugh, and has promised to write and paint several pieces of her, to which she very politely declined, and to eventually read through to one of the final letters, where it seems that a mural has been made in her likeness while she was away for a week because of Ballad. Eventually, she finishes off the letters by saying she'll come visit soon. However, there is trouble brewing in a faraway country, and she's needed to deal with that. It ends by saying that she has given birth to a beautiful baby girl called Hope.
Mama.
Do you relay this information to the party, Arri?
The letter about their parents, yeah. Does she not ever relay about what's-her-face, my auntie?
Oh,
no.
Bliss?
Yeah, I remember you saying that was actually a relation through marriage.
That's right, yeah. Seems she doesn't go. Grace doesn't go much into her relationships. The only kind of sense that you get is that the finality of her love life effectively ended up in a baby daughter called Hope.
Mm.
And it's half and half, really. Grace's hair is more akin to Verity's if it was pink, and Grace's face is more akin to Arabella's. So, as with previous houses, can I get a group investigation check, please? Ooh, pretty good.
I think we're sticking this house there.
Bella's is blind today.
Verity, if you want to spend a little bit more time in this house to cast Detect Magic as a ritual, or do you just want to cast it as a spell slot? Okay. Can you roll D100 for me, please? Sorry, D20. My apologies.
Oh.
Okay.
Now you can roll D100.
Anyway.
Whoopsie doodles.
Don't burn this house to the ground.
Again.
Hopefully that's a sign of Steve.
It's a Rask.
It's the meaning of life and everything.
Fun. I've been waiting for that one.
So, as Verity casts a spell, she just goes, "Oh!" and she turns into a potted plant.
There it is! Yes!
I just pick up my sister.
Yeah, you can have her. Take that.
After about 6 seconds, she turns back into her regular form.
And then I fall on the floor because, like, although she's not much bigger than me, she's still a lot bit heavier than a potted plant.
I didn't have time to water her.
So,
what's wrong with you, Bella?
That happened. Verity, you cast this. You do not detect any magic nearby. So, as the party goes about looking throughout this entire house, you're about to leave when you do a double take on the mural and you realise that it's hollow.
Oh.
Compared to how the wall was built, it seems definitely hollow.
Go ahead, George. You Kool-Aid man that shit.
So what do you guys want to do?
See if there's a way to open it.
Having a quick look around, it looks like there was once a mechanism here that has since been destroyed because of the fire.
Looks like you need to fist it.
I will fist
the hole.
Alright, so Arrabella punches the wall and you have now hurt your hand.
Like, I didn't mean, like, punch the wall. I meant the mechanism. Like, to get
so
my hand in the mechanism and try and alter, like, you know, see if there's anything.
So you put your small little hands in there, and it's the good thing that you're the one doing this because you're probably the only one who could. You're able to fiddle around a little bit using your rogue expertise. You hear a distinctive clink, and part of the wall opens up in the middle, enough to create a very small little slit for somebody to walk through sideways.
Is this another thing for a halfling?
It ain't me.
No, anyone could fit through there if they don't have heavy armor on.
Well, not me.
I'll go through.
Okay.
My family house, I suppose I should.
Go on then.
Can I keep an eye out for traps?
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Verity, do you want to join your sister in there?
Come join me in the hall.
You don't see any traps. Verity, are you going inside the mural hole as well?
Can I just not give her a choice and grab her hand?
Up did easy.
Okay, so Verity, you are dragged inside. So it's a few feet inwards. Eventually, it opens up into effectively a small, little storage room. In there, you can see a number of barrels that have got a very fine layer of dust on them. A few shelves that house trinkets and random bits and bobs. You can see a snow globe. You can see a skull with a red ruby inside of the socket. You can see a rusted longsword attached to the wall of it. The detector's still up, and you can tell, Verity, that none of these items are magical.
Yeah, 100% rescuer vibes. Can I try and grab as much as I can hold?
Yep. So most of these items actually crumble to dust once you pick them up.
Even if I cast mending as I'm picking them up?
There's only so much mending can do as a cantrip. These things are just aged with time.
Okay, what about the ruby? Ruby shouldn't disintegrate.
The ruby does not disintegrate.
Whoop! I get a ruby.
Yep. You pick it up. It's a small one, but it's probably worth about 200 gold.
Nice.
But if I find a cupcake, I bet you'll trade it for it.
Oi. Okay, and there's nothing else in there. Like, there's just loads of trinkets that crumble as I touch them, and a rusty longsword.
Yeah, and a couple of barrels.
Can I open the barrels?
Yep. So as you open the barrels, inside are dozens upon dozens of children's toys.
Can I tip out the barrels so I can have a look through them?
Yeah. So as you tip it out, you can see a few toy horses, a few rattlers, even a number of baby clothes as well.
So Oh, carry on.
As you start sorting through them, you find a crayon picture of a very, very large woman with dazzling pink hair, with golden rays just shooting from her body, and a small little girl with bluish hair, just sort of having a smiley face. She has a cape on her, and she's basically standing all heroic in front of apparently her mother. And then on the side of it is the picture of appears to be a human man taking a nap on a sofa with a paper over his face, with the large zzzz coming off of it.
I have a little chuckle. I fold it up. I put it in my pocket.
It's signed by Hope Deep Hollow, age 3 3/4.
Oh.
I thought Deep Hollow was my dad's surname.
Oh yeah, no. So I made a little footnote here. Because she was a knight and he was a. Well, you shouldn't be knowing this, but because your grandfather was a commoner, when he married into your family, he actually took her name.
Do you mean Pappy? Pappy was a commoner.
Yes. So my apologies. So when a common family marries into a noble's family, they take that noble's family's name regardless of gender.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll take a couple of the toys, like a rattler, a horse, and that's it.
Yeah, they're not worth much, but there's some sentimental value about them. Seems that Grace Grace was a bit of hoarder for sentimental things. So, how does Verity and Arrabella feel about this?
I'm quite liking finding it all. I'm a bit miffed that I've still got the cake in my thing. That needs to go. That has been munched. Yeah, it's just like it's upsetting to see it, and it's a bit weird to see Grace with pink hair. but at the same time, it's nice to actually have something that is before life in Oakenheath.
Verity, you just don't want to be associated with this, is that right? Right. So, the party exits the house. And you move on to the final one. By order of elimination, this one must belong to Cain. As you go up to the house, which has been burned down, you go to enter through the front door. Korgrin, are you taking lead on this one?
I would assume that's what we would have been doing in each house, like descendants going through first. So yeah.
Right. Okay, so you move forward. Can you make a Constitution saving throw, please?
Is it against poison?
No.
Damn.
You started off in the house of Marcus Loic.
Oh, gotcha. That's where we found the book?
Yeah. A bluish energy barrier springs into life and blasts Korgrin backwards onto his back.
Oh. Pissing wizard.
I go and help Korgrin up.
Can I just go Grampy was a wizard then? Because I don't think we've actually heard very much about his family at all.
Do I get the feeling the magic would have gone from that, or is it still there?
It's still there. It's shimmering now, effectively. So, whereas before it was inert, it seems that you activated some form of glyph, and now it's up.
Go for it, Verity. Grampy was wizard, I think. Magical. He was a studious bloke. I've not heard much about him, but he liked his books, from what Mama used to tell me.
Alright. So, Verity, you're going to cast Dispel Magic. What level? Okay. Can you roll a d20 for me, please? Lovely. Well,
I think it's dispelled.
That's probably magic.
You go to you cast Dispel Magic on the barrier, and it has no effect. You get the feeling that whatever this barrier is, it's stronger than the Dispel Magic that you just cast.
I look under a doormat if there is one.
There is a loose stone slab.
What is that?
So you take it off, and there is a tiny little switch there.
Flick it.
Barrier shuts off.
Believe so, Verity. Makes sense.
That's right, yeah.
We dwarves are a simple folk. Kind of like a forgot your keys kind of thing. Look under the doormat. Or doorstone.
So you walk through the threshold of the door into the corridor. You're looking around. There's definitely a distinct magical presence in the air. Just a residual effect of the previous denizen. You take a few more steps forward to begin exploring. Can you make another Constitution saving throw for me, please?
Oh, it's going well tonight, guys.
You are blasted back by.
Probably would have been done in your house.
Yeah, no, because you cast Detect Magic at the beginning of your house, and then you spent the next like 5-ish to like plus minutes to get there, and then you get to this house. I'd say Detect Magic has like run out by now. It's definitely been longer than 10 minutes. So yeah, another
Behind schedule.
bluish pulse blasts from the floor, knocking Korgrin backwards onto your back. As at this point, do you realise that Kane was probably an exceptionally paranoid person because of the magic he did, and this entire place is probably filled with traps, which gives credence to the idea as to why they just burned down the houses. This might have been the first house they went to, realised how trapped it was, and decided just to burn the rest of it all down.
Can I have a search for traps?
Yep, go and make an investigation check, please.
I'll assist. I'll point out typical dwarven cubby holes.
Not necessary. Moving very, very carefully, you notice at least 55 different glyphs of pulsating badness littered throughout the walls, certain objects, and the floor throughout this entire ruin of a manor. To Arrabella and Verity, together between you, you get the sense that these glyphs are of 6th level or higher. However, the inside of this house is pretty destroyed. You do find a study, however, that has got a number of books that are relatively intact.
We check the books for traps.
The books themselves are not actually trapped. However, the chair in the study is.
Of course it is.
Can I throw the horse onto the chair?
Not the chair.
Oh, it'll blow the room or some shit like that.
Would you do, sorry?
No, I will assume I'll have it in my hand, and then Korgrin will stop me, and I'll be like, fine, and I'll put the horse back by my side.
The man was a clearly powerful wizard, and you want to dick about with his magic?
I'm just curious. Like, I only recently learned magic properly, so geez.
Why don't you try sitting in the chair? No, don't do that.
So,
that sounds dangerous. This wooden horse on
having a look through these books, they appear to be handwritten personal journals, memoirs, investigations, theses, theories, all kinds of learned applications written by Kane himself.
Can I bag him?
Yeah, sure.
Bag him and tag him.
Do you just notice that they are written by Kane and just put them in the bag?
Yes.
Okay, so you can go ahead and mark in your inventory that you have got 12 Kane books.
Could I have glanced the titles of them if they were on the spine as they were going in?
This is.
They're closed.
This is the. I'll give you the title of one of them.
Okay, only because he told me off, so I assume I had to be looking at him after he told me off. So I'd seen him trying to bag books.
Well, to be fair, I would have assumed I would have looked at the books myself, seen that they were written by Kane, and then also just gone, oh, this was one of his bag. So
you assume you looked at the titles?
Well, yeah, one would assume if I'm recognizing the books are his, I would assume that they were at least glanced.
That is a fair assumption. I'm curious what one I recognize, though, and if it's a fucking Hero Rises, I will be furious.
Dwarven edition.
Very funny.
Advanced stuff, effectively.
Yeah.
So
I get bored reading that title.
Yeah, so definitely not for you. And I don't think there's any intelligent people in the party, or like bookie people.
Wow.
Just because I'm a half elf.
Like, my intelligence is 16.
Wow.
I wouldn't say that's not
16 is not bad, actually. 16 is not bad.
So to the advanced magical minds, these books could definitely be a treasure trove of powerful insights. However, to the rest of you, words.
Words on paper mean something.
Words are
They can be worth a few gold, I'm sure.
I say again, I do have high intelligence.
Yeah, but you're not interested in books, so.
It depends on the book, but yeah.
Well, you don't know Verity because Korgrin just looked at the titles, realised they were written by him, and put them in the bag without actually looking at it.
It's typical Dwarven way. You hoard and then you inspect.
Like a dragon.
Can I get a group investigation check for the final house, please?
Specifically as well, could I check the desk? Because I assume there's a desk. And may I have guidance for this? Though with a 24, I don't think I'll need it. Wow. I'm glad other people are rolling with me. A 7.
That makes your hard failure into a light failure.
So,
Wow.
like, I'm worried now that I'm the one who's seen the most. So if I have, I'm sorry, can you catch me up? I just need to pop to the loo.
No worries. Well, working together, most of the house is mostly destroyed. The only things of any value were probably in this particular study. However, as you're making your way through the rest of the rooms, there is one room that is half destroyed, like the half of the floor is collapsed and the roof is completely caved in as well. It looks like this was once a bedroom, and at first glance it looks like there's nothing of value in there, but as you go to turn around, you can notice on the wall that is still intact, that has got a bit of debris up on it, there appears to be something of a family tree.
Ooh. I mean, if pointed out, I'll take a look.
So to have a proper look at it, you'll have to spend a few minutes clearing the debris away from the wall to see the parts that are covered up effectively.
I get the feeling Verity's typing, I cast prestidigitation. Yep, there it is.
That's not going to help with moving debris.
Family tree. Arri.
The debris is too heavy for Mage Hand. I mean, it can move a few rocks, but there are a few beams here that are like wedged up against the wall.
If people don't mind spending the last few minutes just clearing some debris, assistance would be appreciated.
Oh, yeah.
Happily help.
Okay. So working together, you're able to clear most of the debris away from that side of the wall. And then you have a good look at it, Korgrin. The Bravebeard family is on one side. You can see the Frostbeard family on another side. And smack bang in the middle of it, you can see Cain. And whereas every single member of your family has got a family name after it, Cain apparently has removed his family name and he only wished to be known as Cain.
Do I want to say I know what that is, the player. Would Korgrin realize what that is?
Yeah, it basically means he's disowned all of his previous family.
It was either going to be that or was exiled from family. So one or the other.
No, Cain never was exiled. He just left of his own accord, and people just didn't pay attention to him after that. However, it seems that he took the effort to know his family. And you remember some details that Grace mentioned a while ago, that it was through Grace's intervention that Cain eventually loosened up a little bit, because you knew him to be something of a more serious type. And eventually, after becoming friends, brothers and sisters to the Forgotten Knights, did he take a good long look at himself and start to think that maybe family is a little bit more important than he originally thought. And after that, beneath Cain, you can see two children. One that cuts off more onto the Frostbeard side, and one that cuts off onto the Bravebeard side. And beneath that one, you can see the name Kolga, Bravebeard. You can see beside him, I forgot his name, but you can see beside Kolga, your father's name.
Good.
And then beneath that, the final one at the very bottom of the family tree is Korgrin, Bravebeard. And beside him beside that name on the other side, on the Frostbeard side, you can see Travok, Frostbeard. How does Korgrin feel about this?
Korgrin would get quite emotional, because a lot of this was family that he felt he failed. After all, he did go out searching for family and found.
And you do recognise a few names that you know you were you weren't fast enough to get to, and whose Edgar's forces had already gotten to.
So they'd probably be sobbing, just gentle sobbing, coming from Korgrin, just reflecting on the years that he spent trying to find family, and failing. As at the end of the day, that is what happened. There is no too slow, too fast, or not fast enough. Simply failing.
So, the rest of you see the usual strong, stoic, secure Korgrin break down into sad sobs of a man who, despite everything he tried to do, feels like he failed his family.
Do we get the idea that he failed his family?
I don't know. That's up to Korgrin if he wants to explain what he was doing and what happened.
I mean, visually, it would be, running his ungauntleted hand over the various branches and the names, thumbing over it, the ones that he recognizes. At the very least, you'd all know, I mean, from the caves, when we first met, that was what he said he was looking for. He was looking for Travok. And it would have, been alluded, obviously, that he was looking for family. So this would be the cheat sheet that he wished he had, basically, and is just a reminder of his weaknesses, his failure.
So I sidle up to him and I just go, "You found family," and I hand him the sketch that I just made of the tree that we can see.
No, it's not as beautiful as Dwarven artwork, but she did a good attempt at it.
It's just names and lines. And now we have a base to go from. Now we know what names to search for.
I get the feeling there's probably not many left, but
well, Bella's gonna step forward, put her hand on your shoulder, and just be like, "You're not alone in this anymore, though. You've got us lot."
No,
we're a very Korgrin, as far as you're aware, you and your father are the last Bravebeards left.
Mm-hmm. I suppose this is just the last bit of, not evidence, but I don't know what else to say, but the fact that we need to repay Edgar in kind, I suppose.
We will.
For all he's done to, all of us.
Yeah.
So, with that, the party leaves. Changed, with new information. You walk past the knights, some of them who are still giving Rennas some dirty looks, and outside of the temple grounds. The sun's beginning to set now. taken a lot long. You were a lot longer in there than you realised.
It's been a long day.
So you make your way back to the Winter's Crest Inn. And unless there's anything you guys would like to do, you can spend the night there.
Can I ask people if they know a place where I can get magical arrows from?
Magical arrows, did you say?
Yeah.
Either Rosiel's Commerce or the Menagerie.
Okay, so both places that I can't really get into right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, because I don't sleep, I'm going to be doing studying, but that's the thing I want to do when everyone else is asleep.
Suspicious. The whole night.
What the fuck? Top 10 ways to become untrusted.
Rennas, go make a sleight of hand check, please.
What?
Can I just confirm that you're
Korgrin? I want to go to Korgrin. Yes, so I want to go to Korgrin, and I want to say I've actually been a bit of a fucking dick to you. I understand that you have your own morals and they don't quite align with mine, but I do genuinely respect you for the effort that you've given this party, and I hold up my hand to shake his hand.
Can I insight, as bad as this sounds, can I insight check Rennas?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, just wow.
Because now the DM beforehand was like sleight of hand.
It didn't fucking help, did it?
So you get the feeling that he's telling the truth.
I am genuinely telling the truth.
But you also get the feeling that he has an alternative motive.
I'll grasp his hand, shake it.
Fuck's sake! I mean, who does that surprise?
As you go to shake his hand, he basically you get a slight pain in your finger, Korgrin, as you look down, and he's very clumsily tried to put a ring onto your meatiest finger and tried to jam it on there. That's actually broken a bit of skin.
Ow! Why?
Because I thought it would be cool, and I just fucking suck. Congratulations, Korgrin.
He's been planning it for weeks.
Well, not weeks, since last week.
He's been like, I'm going to do this.
But congratulations, Korgrin. You're now the proud owner of the Ring of
Dex,
Dex.
right?
Oh,
that's the Ring of Evasion.
We do see it.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, the Ring of Dex saves evasion.
Yeah, I mean, with the natural one, everyone who's around him sees him do this, so.
Right? Did we just propose to Korgrin?
It's supposed to be so fucking smooth. Fuck my dice.
Well, Korgrin,
I've genuinely had one roll above 10 all night.
what's the answer?
yes, I do accept the ring.
How cute.
Right. Korgrin, the Ring of Evasion is in your journal now.
Oh, thank you, Rennas. It means a lot, and I know you spoke actually quite a lot of that from your heart. So I know I can be a bit hard on you as well sometimes, and as you say, we're from different ends of the moral compass, but your intentions are there. I know you mean well, if albeit your means don't.
Indeed. I'm still just very sad about my nat one.
They just proposed.
Or corner.
I'm physically crying now.
I mean, the fact
Crying
that
happy or crying sad?
I mean, it's because It's because Otti, you said that he's been planning this for weeks. That just makes it that much better.
I've been planning it since last week when, again, I just kept because it sucks. Technically, I shouldn't need this fucking deck save win because my deck save is so high. But as you've just seen, the dice gods fucking hate me. But still, it'll still help someone else more than it'll help me.
Well, it's a good thing that you're giving it to Korgrin because fucking hell, he needs it. The amount of lightning bolts he's taken recently.
There's a 0 to that.
I think for the first time that ring's going to run out of juice.
Yeah, I've only ever used it once for a long rest. So I've never actually had to roll to get it back because I've never used more than one. And not even I can roll less than one.
So, Rennas has given Korgrin a ring, clumsily. Is there anything else the party would like to do before turning in for the night?
I would like to read my deck book.
I was just going to ask a quick question. Is the Ring of Dex attunement or not?
I believe it is, actually.
It is, yes. But that's why I gave it to you at the start of a rest.
That's fair.
I am going to take off this mithril armor and put it in the bag of holding because I am just like, this isn't me. It's not natural enough. And I'm hoping that in the city, I won't need it too much. And I'm going to put my hide armor back on because it just feels more like I can blend in the woods, which is my favorite place.
Okay. I don't think it does it change your AC, or was it the same AC, just gave you advantage on all stealth rolls?
So the mithril armor just changed my AC. So it'll go to 14 now instead of 16. But that's fine. I'd like to look for decent halfling-sized armor rather than mithril armor. I thought, I thought mithril armor would be cooler, but it's not. It just fits to my size.
I mean, you were literally like Frodo, basically.
Yeah, but I'm not Frodo. I'm cooler.
It's fine. We all know the hero is Sam.
So, Verity, you
was
attuned to your diadem, I imagine.
Yes.
So, as you finish the attunement, you feel a great connection to a vast power beyond your imagining. Shoot out across your awareness, and in that state, you hear a soft voice in your mind. Hello?
Hello.
Who are you?
Verity?
Oh.
Who are you?
I don't know.
Is Verity just currently talking out loud to herself right now, but on one side of the conversation?
It depends on where Verity is. If she's in her room, then...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of like... Not that anyone else is even... I don't know. Like, Verity thought
Loic is sleeping.
Why she wanted some alone time. So, yeah, the second we, left everything, she's just gone, solo.
Okay, so she's in her room. So, the voice responds with saying, I don't know.
Okay, well, you're a diadem, so... Can I call you Dia?
Dia. Okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like Diamond. Diamonds are cool.
I like diamonds. Can you call me Diamond?
Oh. Sure.
Great. So, are we friends?
I mean, if you want to be. I mean, I'm...
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a friend before, so...
Am I talking to it out loud, or is it in my head?
Oh, well, it's you speaking to you in your head, but you can speak out loud.
Can I just think, can you hear my thoughts?
It's a little quieter.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
So there was a man, and he made me, and he told me to shut up a lot. Will you tell me to shut up?
Oh, yeah, shut up.
I'm going to try not to.
Shut up, just shut up.
But, if there's a case where I'm trying to think and you're trying to talk to me, I might ask you to be quiet. I'll try to be as quiet as I can. But I don't know. Things are a bit weird lately.
All right. I'm still very new at all this, so I'm learning. So I'm sorry if I get it wrong or not.
Was it Wade telling you to shut up, or was it Haran?
There were two people. Only one of them spoke to me, though.
Bit uncharacteristic of Wade to be like, shut up, but I don't know. But yeah, how are you, I guess?
I'm normal.
Cool.
I think so.
It's okay.
To be honest, I would have liked to have used you earlier, but question,
yeah.
Do I know if using this diadem will use my spell wild magic? Will it invoke my wild magic?
So, specifically in the details of the diadem, by attuning to this item, you learn everything you need to know about it. I did specify that the diadem is not subject to class features. So, if it was a ranger that had the diadem, they couldn't use a spell slot from the diadem to use primeval awareness. Likewise, you can't use a spell slot from the diadem for sorcerer's points, and therefore it's the diadem that's casting the spell, not you. So therefore, it's not subject to wild magic searches.
Like, I wanted to practice and use a first level spell with you, Diamond, but I think if my brain was to blow up whilst I was in a room alone, people might,
I'm sorry, I get really nervous, and
that's okay.
I hope I can be of any use to you.
Yeah, we'll try it. I mean, new relationships, it's like, test the waters.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Right, so you spend the rest of the evening getting to know Diamond.
Well,
there's not much to know, however. Diamond is a very, as from the letter that was given to you by Haren, this is a manufactured soul, built specifically for the purpose of controlling the power that the Diamond then commands.
You've got a homunculus.
Fine.
So yeah, Wade did warn you that
it can blow my brain up.
Such a soul can learn and can start exerting a will of its own. So effectively, he forced this soul into a very much a childlike state of unknown to prevent it from exerting a will. So the more you interact with it, the more it can learn, and therefore the more it could potentially try to influence you.
That's cool. Like, I'm basically going to try and teach it to be good, but this is probably the worst time to have to tune to it then, because I'm just like, I was joking about it earlier, but I was just thinking about how, every effort Verity feels like she's tried to put into preventing shit like what happened with Loic from happening.
Yep.
Is just kind of getting foiled, and she acts kind of like as an agent of chaos to a sense, where she tries to control the things around her because she feels like she doesn't have much control on herself, but that's kind of lost grip. And then she was thinking about into the house, thinking how Grace was being tutored by Kane, who is Korgrin's descendant, who he's kind of not so much tutoring Verity, but Verity's kind of feeling a repeat in what's happening, and she's beginning to become very, very, very uncertain with it all. And
so Verity's basically feeling like she doesn't, no matter how much she tries, she doesn't have control of her own destiny.
And then she was thinking about her similarities to Grace, and is considering burning half her face to try and make herself look different, but I don't know. Yeah, I was trying to think.
Well,
how do I
Arrabella is the one that looked like Grace. Arabella's the one who physically looked more like Grace. You just shared hair with her if your hair was pink.
Yeah, which
and longer.
Oh my god.
She just kind of wants to see. She's just in her head. She's just thinking, what can she do to physically distance herself from what she feels like is becoming a repeating pattern that she's seeing. And yeah.
Sometimes you gotta break.
Like I said, slightly dark thoughts that she doesn't really want to talk to anyone else about, but.
Well, now you have a diadem that can read your thoughts, so.
This is why I'm like, is it going to think that people burning their face is going to be a normal thing now that Verity's thinking about it?
Well, be careful with this. Is all I can say.
Yeah.
So,
and then I'm going to get 2 more nights of study. A night of study done.
no worries. So I'm going to say you probably will want to spend the evening translating Marcus's divinity book. Is that right?
That as well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you get those. You get those done. You don't sleep. It's a weird sensation, but you don't feel tired. However, you do rest up, and everybody gets their hit points back, their spell slots back, and everybody is
sweet spell points.
Everybody's recovered from the day.
Was that just an 8-hour rest?
Yes.
Okay,
Jack,
well,
I
I spent 4 hours reading my textbook.
It was an overnight rest. So.
Okay, so
and you all
10
laughing
hours.
like I was going to trick you all while you were sleeping.
Okay, I did 6 hours on my textbook then.
So yeah, okay. So that brings us up. How many hours does that bring you to?
I don't know because it was written on my actual sheet, which is somewhere on my actual paper sheet. 1 second.
I'd like to attune to both the Ring of Evasion and also the Divine Plate, please.
Okay.
Jack, I went to put a 5th level spell slot in my ring.
All right. So which spell are you storing in there?
Oh, it has to be an actual. That actually makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Let me see. I could put like a level 1 spell, but it would be at the 5th level if I do so, right?
Yeah. So unfortunately, any spell that you put into it will be 5th level. So you're going to use up all of its slots into storage.
Fuck it.
So
Let's do.
You effectively get 3 spells instead of 2.
That is amazing. Let's do Blight.
So you're going to store a 5th level Blight inside the ring.
And does that stay like forever?
Until you use it, yeah.
Hell yeah.
And if you give it to somebody else, they can use the 5th level Blight as well.
Ooh. Korgrin, can I interest you in the necromantic arts?
I mean, I already use it, mate, so you're speaking to the choir.
Ooh.
I inflict wounds, my friend.
So that is another thing. Before you guys left the Kingslayer's ruins, a bounty of 5,000 gold pieces was presented to you in a small chest.
I've never seen so much gold in my life.
Which I would assume goes into the bag of holding.
Eat it in the bag.
We have another chest. We now have 3 chests.
Including the females.
Anyone
and
seen
the
Total
black,
Recall?
we have a lot more.
I was just thinking of, is it Final Recall or Total Recall?
Total Recall, I just said.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, technically, she only has 1 chest.
But she got 3 titties.
3 tits, that's awesome. Okay, so.
Makes me wish I had 3 hands.
Morning comes. You all get out of your beds. Still a little sore from yesterday, but generally you're all okay. Loic, you had one of the most peaceful night's sleeps you've had in a long, long time.
Oh, that was a good one.
You attuned to dive? No, I'm assuming everybody's attuning to their Wade items, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would if I could.
Am I able to investigate into what the hell unlocks the other 2 traits of my weapon? Just see everyone get theirs, and I'm like, the fuck do you do?
Don't mind
Go make an intelligence check.
This is gonna fail.
Roll a crit. Roll a crit.
Almost in that 20. Very almost.
You have a feeling that there's something more to it. Maybe a passphrase.
Is it pew pew?
You're not gonna make me repeat what fucking Wade said in the bloody green folder, you?
I don't know. What did
Wade
green folder? What did Wade say?
He said something along the lines of, my friend Heren, the bow, she's using the bow.
No.
Or something like that. Or she's activated the bow.
I think it was Heren, my bow.
Nope.
Heren, my bow.
Nope.
Pew pew.
Okay. I'll say pew pew.
Nope.
Far in Malaysia. Bwah.
Like, I can't
That's
even
it.
think.
No, it's not.
I can't even think of anything that I would have said to Wade to make him think that it would have been a phrase that I would say often. And
Well,
yeah,
Specific when you
have a
first-
think about it, and if it ever comes to your mind, just say it out loud.
but that's the thing. Like, the only thing that Wade has said since I got this bow, I'll have to probably rewatch the video. But it was something like my friend Heren, she's used the bow, or something like that, or Heren, she's used the bow, or just Heren, the fucking wanker Heren.
There was something
I hate Heren.
you specifically heard something from it, but
Okay, I'd have to rewatch the thing. Like, keen mind. What does Arri remember that she heard when she got to 10 things on the bow in Greenfold? Because that was less than a month ago.
yeah. Helen, my flame.
It is Heren, my
flame. Heren, my flame.
Do you say that loud?
Yes. Because I realised
Okay.
it didn't need a phrase. I just go, Heren, my flame.
Yeah, I told you it was.
The bow explodes. Everyone takes 20 damage.
Nothing happens because you haven't knocked an arrow. Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm not going to do that yet. But can I get, like, a little tingling?
You get the feeling that that's the correct phrase. That something would have happened if you had knocked an arrow.
Okay. I will keep it not knocked for now because I'm in a bed. Oh, actually, I'm in the bar. I'm in the bar. Just
Oh, we
shouting
were walking
at my
for
bow.
breakfast.
Right, well, you have discovered trait 2. So I'm going to update your thing now, okay?
Okay, and I will make sure I say it the next time I knock my bow.
There's a part for it. Right, if you have a look at if you have a look at the thing now, you'll see what trait 2 is.
Are we all meeting up for breakfast or something?
Sure.
I come down with
That sounds amazing.
my notes in a book. You're already confused.
Okay, so I can only use it once.
That's right. Until the
Have you
next
been
one.
read Rennas?
Okay.
It's an exciting book.
Like-
It tells me to like bend
You
and
wanted,
flex and
you
twist.
wanted to be the girl on fire. That's what he did.
Mm.
I'm gonna put the mithril armor on in the morning and put my big heavy armor in the bag.
Nice.
Okay.
Ah, gotcha.
That makes sense.
Just jump in my grave like, but it's fine, I've got my hide.
I've got my plate armor that keeps me cozy no matter what.
I got nothing.
I got studded armor because I'm a stud.
So,
I still got this displacer beast tail. Don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
Where is the
Rotten.
scar?
Yeah, this is rotten.
It's just a little old.
Still good.
you guys have met up. You finished eating your breakfast.
As I come down to breakfast, I'm just gonna be like, guys, this is Diamond. She talks in my brain. I don't know.
Korgrin just face palms. Another cursed item.
Hey, Wade made it, so it can't be that cursed.
Hello,
So,
Diamond. It is
it-
very nice to meet you. Shake the top,
I'm gonna
Diamond.
get real close to it. Like, hey,
Just wobble a diamond.
Loic is just kind of sitting there. So it's bad when things talk to me in my brain, but for others it's perfectly acceptable.
When you don't know their origins, yes. We know exactly where this came from. It came from what could potentially be some sort of son or whatever. I don't know. Anyway.
back, I'm just screaming hello at it. Hello.
Crazy armor smith, but hey ho.
As
Anyway,
you all scream and speak towards the diadem, you all hear nothing in return.
The other tavern occupants look at us very confused.
They are actually, especially the tavern owner, a human female with red hair. She is cocking her head slightly to the side with a very inquisitive look.
Hello,
I
Tony.
apologize.
Like, hello. Hello to everyone.
Then they just go back to their meals.
Rightly so.
So,
Like I said, she talks in my brain, so she won't be able to talk to you guys. If it's a she. Are you a she?
Can she hear me? Hello?
I'm a
If
listener.
you can hear me, can you tell
Is it
Verity?
me you're looking for?
Verity, you
I'm
just hear
here.
Ray. That's scary.
Yeah, you guys are scaring her. Piss off.
Oh, sorry. And then
Am I a girl?
Breakfast.
Huh?
Am I a girl?
I mean, I don't know. Like, you have slightly effeminate tune to your voice, so maybe.
Oh,
But
okay.
you could just be a they, them, or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know. I always thought I was a diadem.
You are a diadem, but you can be anything, really. Like,
you called yourself Simon, so
From my experience, you're probably a demon in disguise.
Loic can't hear this, so Loic.
I just say this out loud for no reason to no one.
that's what Bella does often when she.
As you guys are discussing this, the door to the tavern to the inn opens up, and you see a familiar halfling face walk in. Elle Clearwater comes in. She sees you and she says, "Oh, I'm glad I found you. There's some news about the whole, Skyhold thing.
Ooh.
So they denied me.
Oh.
They said that I was a maid and I need to learn my place, and I have no right to ask to offer a tour to anyone from the lower districts."
I mean, we have access from the dragon now, so we're cool.
We dragon yesterday. What?
He's
We filed it before we met the dragon.
Thank you, Eleanor. Reichstag the Brave was being mind controlled in the Temple of the Order. We freed him from said subjugation, and he's granted us permission to access other parts of the town. Though had that not happened, we still would have relied on you and your suggestion. So we thank you very much for your work and your endeavour to trying to get us access. I'm sorry they were so rude to you, though, about it. But thank you.
As you say this to her, her face is just filled with awe and amazement. You guys know dragons? Wow!
Killed one as well.
Wow! You guys are amazing. Well, I don't mean to be a fangirl, but can I have your autographs?
Is there like anywhere in town we get like a portrait done? Like, as in like a group, like normally like for a selfie, but
artists around.
Because I think she might appreciate that. I generally appreciate the effort she's put in. She's obviously the cousin of a very good friend of ours. We could like do a little picture together, and then we could all sign the picture, and she's got something to put on our wall.
I mean, yeah.
I feel bad signing something. I don't feel that important.
Well, you are important. You save this. You're saving the city. You bring the tributes. You fight off dragons. What can't you guys do?
I arguably put the city.
Apparently, see the king.
We gotta find a way into that castle, into the royal district.
So, with that, Ella bids you all very fond farewell, and she says she needs to get back to work, so she's not going to be able to get out of the Skyhold district for the next month, effectively. So she hopes to see you there eventually. So another hour passes as you're just effectively all lounging around, just relaxing, because it's been a while since you guys have actually just been able to relax. And so eventually, in the distance, you hear the sounds of trumpets.
Have I heard these before? Like, in my days within the city?
No, these are This is definitely a different trumpet than you've ever heard.
I've never heard these trumpets before.
No, they're a different kind.
Okay.
A lot of people in the inn are looking confused. They themselves have never heard such a trumpet. What do you guys do?
I suppose we go take a look. I would take a look.
Yeah, head outside.
Stick our head out the door.
All right. So as you stick out your heads out the door and begin filing out, you can see a lot of people, especially a little bit further away from you, are passing the streets and they are bowing, like they are dropping to their knees and groveling at the entourage that is coming.
Can I climb a building to get a better view?
No.
Go for it.
After about a minute or so, the procession that's coming is within full view of yourselves. And you, Loic, you definitely recognize the armor of some of them. There are 13 people coming towards you. 12 of them, they bear the armor of the Jukayan Knights.
Oh.
The guards of the upper district, of the Skyhold district. They are escorting an individual with solid gold armor and a white cape.
Ooh.
Oh, bitch, who's this dude?
My thoughts exactly.
He appears to be human, however, he has very, very long, feminine hair, very palish and almost pink in nature.
Ooh.
Does he bear any resemblance to Melchiah?
No,
Oh, okay.
none at all.
Is he wearing a crest?
Sounds fancy as fuck.
He is not wearing a crest. He is wearing a uniform that Loic, you would know, is the uniform of an Oathsworn.
Oh, I relay this information to the party. Guys, an Oathsworn, they're like the most valiant Knights of the King. There's only assumed to be 4 to 8 of them in the city at any given time.
Do we recognize Edgar as a Oathsworn?
Edgar is not an Oathsworn, he is a knight.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now, the Oathsworn are former knights, nobles, generals, even adventurers who have taken an oath of celibacy, given up the right to own land, and dedication to arms in order to guard the royal family. The only thing that remains of their past are their names.
Tis true.
Now, generally, there are 3 to 8 Oathsworns at any given time. Currently, there are only 4 Oathsworn. They are effectively the bodyguards of the king.
You do not want to get on the bad side of one of these guys.
But what's one doing out here if he's a bodyguard to the king?
I get the feeling
Your ancestors were knights. However, they did kill the Oathsworn during the they killed all of the Oathsworn when they murdered Verity.
So they killed the Oathsworn, but they killed people who blatantly had kids. Or does celibacy only happen when you swear the oath, and before that you can fuck like a rabbit?
Oh, you
Yes,
come from a different
you can have
It could be like a Catholic church type of thing.
You can have children, but when you become Oathsworn, you basically take an oath of celibacy.
Can you imagine? Sorry, like yeah.
So like your grandparents, they were not Oathsworn. They were just knights. So this individual, as he is marching towards you, you can see that he's on his left side. There is the hilt of a blade, a long sword that is finely encrusted in jewels and definitely gives off a magical aura. As they are marching towards you, the Jukayan Knights, they spread out around the party to usher back the civilians. The ones that are still on their feet are pushed backwards.
Oh.
The ones that are on the ground merely shuffle backwards, like on the floor. The only people who are even looking at this person are you people. Everybody else is groveling. You can even see a couple of Jurassians who they're not groveling, but they are bowing heavily towards them.
I'll go down on my knee and bow.
Yeah, same as well. No reason to piss these guys off.
Whatever everyone else is doing.
I imagine I could probably stay standing and nobody would be the wiser.
Yeah, you could try it. Probably won't end well for you, to be honest, but you can try it.
So this person looks at you and he's got beautiful green eyes. He's he's average height, very slender, but you can tell that he's definitely packing a lot of muscles underneath that armor. He says nothing for about a minute or so, just casually observing each of you, until he speaks. And he says, "Are you the ones known as the Unforgotten?"
Aye.
Yeah, that's us.
You certainly look different from the common people.
We're new to these parts, I suppose you could say.
I imagine we're probably filthy.
I thought
I showered.
We're probably
Yeah, I mean,
cleaner than the common
I mean,
folk.
this guy is immaculately clean. Like, even the Jukaya Knights are clean. This guy's gleaming. He continues to look at each other with a very taciturn kind of face, very stoic, very unshowing. He says, "Well, the actions of yourselves have already reached the ears of the court, and I have been tasked to find you and extend an invitation. King Turiel, his interest is piqued, and he would like to see the truth of the heroes of Brine, the Unforgotten, and now, your new titles, the upcoming Heroes of the Hours, where it seems that this city has been rescued twice by you in a very short space of time. No one before has made such an impression."
I might be going to hell, but can I insight check that the king wants to see us?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is that also an insight on him being serious or not, and that the king wants to see us and judge us, or
that he doesn't want to throw us in a prison?
Potentially kill us?
So, can you just tell me specifically, Rennas, what are you trying to insight here?
So specifically, when he said that our actions have piqued the interest of the king, and the king wants to set up a meeting.
You get the feeling that this person just doesn't lie.
Oh,
It's beneath
in him lying.
It's beneath him to lie. He wouldn't come all the way down here just to lie to you.
I didn't see the point in him coming to lie to us.
I just don't trust things when they happen too easily. We want to see the king, and now the king wants to see us. So no, but I'm glad. But I was a little bit cautious.
Well,
We have had to fight for everything.
sorry, Rennas, did you say that out loud?
Oh God, no.
No.
Smart man.
However, before such a meeting can take place, the king demands that a number of tasks be undertaken to truly prove yourself.
Who we gotta kill?
Well, it's up to you.
I didn't say that out loud.
Some of these issues have plagued the realm for many years, and if answers or solutions can be found, the king believes that you are the people to do it. Now, the king has specifically requested at least 2 of the presented tasks to be completed. However, if you were to complete all 5 of them, that would certainly impress the king. He'd be very grateful and would most likely present a boon. The decision is yours.
I apologise for interrupting. Is that a boon per task completed, or simply 5 for 5 and then a boon?
5 for 5 and then a boon.
Fair. Ready
The decision is yours. The king's request is that you simply prove yourselves further.
What would he have us do?
Well, after the events of yesterday, it has come very painfully clear that the one known as Vectra the Fast can no longer be allowed to have free reign in the skies. It has tasked you to hunt and kill Vectra the Fast. As a side mission to this, Vectra stole valuable treasures to the ground many years ago. The king would like you to retrieve those treasures.
Is that task 2, or is that an add-on to task 1?
It's an add-on. The main objective is to kill Vectra the Fast.
Optional. Retrieve treasures. Okey-doke.
The second task is he wishes for you to eliminate Titan Icebane and his pet white dragon, Atom.
Icebane and his pet white dragon. What was the name of the white dragon?
Atom.
Atom.
Yeah, A-T-H-A-M.
Ooh, edgy.
Okey-doke.
Now, Titan Icebane is currently the ruler of the Frost Giants in the Eastern Frost tribes. Now, treaties prevent a military incursion, and because of the state of the country, we do not have the resources for another war with them. Now, Titan recently killed his father and assumed lordship over the Eastern tribes, and the longer he is allowed to remain in power, the more dangerous he will become. The king believes that you people can move where an army can't. If you eliminate Titan, you will do your country a great service. You will stave off war for many more generations, he's sure. The third task is he wishes for you to enter into the Damas Ring and win the championship in order to raise the morale of the city. He believes that a good festival, a spectacle, as it were, for the lower folk to see the heroes of the hours enter into the arena and win the grand championship would be a reprieve from the recent woes that the city has recently undertaken. The fourth task is the king wishes you to discover the source of recent necromantic cults within the city.
Oh, you cut out for that for me. What do you say?
Discover the source of recent necromantic cults within the city.
Ah. Does the
have pointy ears?
Does the king have any hunches on where these cults might start out?
The king doesn't. However, head necromancer Catan of the Menagerie does.
You just slayed me out right there, but okay.
Now, Headmaster Catan is assistant to the Royal Alchemist's knowledge, and he is expecting you. The Jurassians are in over their head, and the mages of the Menagerie are busy with their official studies. Head reports to Headmaster Catan, Head Necromancer Catan, and I'm sure he'll point you in the right direction.
I'm assuming this quest grants us access to the Menagerie as of now?
As of now,
accepted?
you are hereby permitted to enter any part of the city except for the Skyhold district.
Wonderful.
Even the Elven district we may enter?
The Elven district is currently off limits unless you have a specific need to go there.
We definitely will.
I'm sure we can find needs.
Now, I will point out that I'm well aware of you that of some of your members' blood lineage. However, the king is willing to overlook these transgressions upon our laws because he believes that you have a specific worth. So unless you have a specific need to go see your brethren in the Half-Elven district, My recommendation is that you stay away from that.
Well, I just merely wonder that it could be a place we search if we're trying to find necromantic energy. I know that they worship a certain admonished being, and our courses of action might naturally take us
The
there.
religion that you are referring to is the religion of the Observer, and that was dealt with many months ago.
Either way, there could still be remnants. For all you know, you've locked off the city, thrown the key away. There aren't enough eyes to accurately depict what's happening. But
Blocking off Loic from putting his foot in his mouth, I say, if the evidence leads us to the Half-Elven district, we'll probably let the responsible authorities know and then investigate the matter. I'm sure is what my friend is trying to say.
I'm sure the Jurassians will appreciate being brought in on the investigation.
Yes,
And the final task.
The final task is that the king wishes you to escort an official edict to the Frost Gates. He has ordered the Frost Gates to open. He also wishes you to arrest any traitors in open rebellion and return them to the city for trial.
Would that include a knight called Edgar, who recently attacked the Frost Gates?
Well, I'm not aware of any such attacks in the Frost Gates. All I am aware is
how
that
could you not be aware?
Because the Frost Gates have been closed, and as such, all news from the outside has been brought off. In direct violation of the king's orders, who request all missives and information of the outside world to go through the Frost Gates to reach our ears, Commander Frostbeard has been in direct violation of this. Now, it has come to our attention that Commander Frostbeard is no longer in command of the Frost Gates. However, his officers may still be in open rebellion. So it is up to you to deliver the edict that the king wishes the Frost Gates to be open, and trade and regular travel to resume, and to arrest any of the people, any of his officers that are still in open rebellion.
Bullshit.
Now,
This could be our chance to recruit some cats.
it's entirely up to you which of these tasks you wish to accomplish. If you accomplish them all, the king will be very impressed and has said that he will grant you a boon. However, you need only achieve 2 of them to be granted an official audience with him. We are aware that you have put it through the official channels, that you wish to meet with King on open audience days. However, I'll let you know now that all official audiences have been cancelled for the far future, so your official requests would have been denied. This is your only chance to meet the king, and the king wishes you to complete some of these tasks.
Can I humbly ask why the official audiences have been cancelled?
That's what I was about to say.
Because the king is currently busy with his kingly duties to be able to listen to the woes and the troubles of those that are not worth his time. Prove that you are worth his time, and he will listen to you.
I steadfastly say nothing.
Good. Now
are there any more questions that you people have?
Just a question for the DM. What's in the Skyhold district? Is that basically the top half of the city that has like the expensive shit?
The inner city that lies at the top of the sky bridge. That is essentially where the richest of the richest live. They have their own little city inside there, where effectively the oldest noble families live. There are much less houses there and much more space. There's probably, give or take, about 500, maybe 600 noble families there that consist of thousands upon thousands of people. And in the very center of it all is the royal palace, which dominates the vast majority of the Sky District. It's a vast palace.
But there's no... Correct me if I'm wrong. Were there any shops or anything like that of any interest up there? Or places?
There are the basic necessity shops. However, the majority of all the goods that can be found in the city are in Raziel Commerce, which is why Raziel Commerce is the most common place that you would find a noble outside of the Skyhold district.
Second question then for what was his name?
You didn't get it.
No, we didn't. I was just going to say we didn't get his name.
All you know is that he's an Oathsworn. You haven't asked his name.
Another question for the Oathsworn then. With the recent Raziel Commerce District, are we granted permission to enter that, or does the lockdown supersede our ability to access it?
As far as I'm aware, the people are still in open rebellion in the Raziel Commerce. But if your investigation takes you there, then I swear upon you, as my authority is the Oathsworn, that the Raziel Commerce District will be opened to you.
That's fair enough, thank you. And if we do need to access it, do we just say an Oathsworn has given us permission, or do we need to speak your name?
The Jurassians will be aware that Oathsworn Bellius has given you permission to access any district that you need.
Sworn Bellius. Thank you. I don't know how to address you. Oathsworn? Sir?
You may just address me as Bellius.
Thank you, Bellius.
A name is just a name. A title is a representation of everything that we are. I am Oathsworn, but if you wish to refer to me as an individual, it is Bellius.
Thank you, Bellius.
The rest of you, do you have any more questions? Any niggling little doubts?
Can I ask what makes you think that...
Sorry,
carry on,
sorry. Yeah, the Titan Icebane, where was he located?
Eastern Tribe, I think.
He's a member of the Eastern Frost Giant tribes. We currently have a number of outposts out in that direction. This is where the bulk of our armed forces are. It's effectively a armistice. They would be ready to attack on a moment's notice, but it is also to prevent invasion from the Frost Giants, which has happened before.
How far away is that?
It is a give or take a 2-day journey.
Would we have access to transportation to get there?
Do you need transportation?
I imagine something that will help us get there would be useful in helping us complete the tasks.
How fast do you need to be there?
What are you guys thinking? Are we going to take on that one?
I would like to take I like the Menage one, to be honest.
If we did need to get there, perhaps horses might be of some benefit to expedite our journey, so whatever horses are able to be spared.
But if you wish to be there within a day, then the horse is the way to go. If you wish to be there in a couple of days, then foot is the way to go. If you wish to be there today, then a teleportation circle is the way to go.
Would we be able to gain access to the teleportation circle if we needed it? Yes, wonderful. That's all I needed.
Can I ask if there's anything specific that makes you think Titan Icebane is ready to go to war with us?
Because they're frost giants and this is their way.
So I don't say this out loud. So racism.
His father, whilst dangerous, was certainly the more negotiable of the lot. His son is far more warmongering, and we have definitely noticed an increased activity of armed forces on their side of the border. If left alone, we can expect a new invasion within the year. If we take care of it now, there'd be no invasion for at least several decades.
Do you not think killing him now might start some kind of backlash?
Well, that's the thing. You people are not associated with the crown in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, wow.
So you want us to do your dirty work, I take it?
Being puppeted.
If you wish to put such crude terms on it, then yes.
Ah.
But you will be doing your country and countrymen a great service. Titan Icebane is a menace. He is vicious, he is violent, and he has a white dragon under his command. Now, I'm not sure if any of you have had any expertise with white dragons, but let me tell you, they are vicious hunters.
This is true. We had an experience.
If not for Titan Icebane, then you would certainly be doing the world a favour by getting rid of the white dragon that is Athel.
If, hypothetically, we met with Titan Icebane and received his solemn oath that he's not going to attack us, would that be acceptable to the king?
Your orders are to eliminate Titan Icebane and his pet white dragon, Atom.
That's fine. I was just asking.
Just want to make sure we're doing everything to the king's wanting.
Are there any clarifications that I can give to you all?
Not that I can think of.
I think we got enough to be starting with.
I have one question.
Then speak, Half-Orc.
Jesus.
How will
Her
we
name is
prove
Otti,
it?
sir.
Then speak, Otti.
Is there anything we can do to prove that these tasks are done? Do we need to bring back for each one, or is word of mouth?
Well, if you bring back the treasures that were stolen by Vector of the Fast, then that would be more than proof that you have dealt with every issue. However, a blue scale or two would certainly not go amiss. The same goes with the white dragon known as Atom. If you eliminate him, bring back some of the white scales. The Titan Icebane has a very distinct helmet, so if you bring that back, then that certainly would prove it. Or it would also be pretty obvious if Titan Icebane is eliminated, as his forces would be thrown into disarray. Ancient rivalries between the Frost Giants would immediately flare up. Our forces on our side would see conflict within forces on their side. They are vicious creatures, the Frost Giants. Do not trust them, and beware them. They are dangerous. Now, if you win Dumas' championship, well, I would be able to hear the cheers of the people from my room, so you need not provide any proof for that. As to the source of necromantic cults in the city, simply find out where they are, location if you can, maybe an evidence of a witness testimony, or even the head of the creature that is causing all of this. Bring it to head necromancer Gatan, and he will then pass it on to us that you've completed the task.
So we are just locating the cults and discovering them. We're not actually stopping the cults, correct?
Your orders are to discover the source of recent necromantic cults in the city.
Fantastic.
Do you have any hunches why, sir?
Well, that is not my responsibility. My responsibility is to my king and my king alone, and my king has asked me to come here to relay these orders to you. I am not the man for speculation.
I will hold my tongue, tactically.
The official edict will verify whether or not you escorted them to the correct place. They are able to give the edict if there are any traitors, any in open rebellion, and if they brought them back. So obviously it goes without saying that this is because your fifth mission is a protection mission, it goes without saying that the edict must come back alive.
Fair. Makes sense.
Now, of course, if there are no traitors in open rebellion, then the edict will report on this, and everything will be better, and everyone will be happy. If there are, arrest them. If they resist, kill them.
What can we do to prove that we can arrest them? I mean, you said yourself we're not your people.
You place them in cuffs and you drag them back here if you have to.
And I'm sure they'll just go peacefully with a group of 7 people not from the capital that don't make up the races that you prefer.
Well, they'll be aware that if they don't do it to you, then they can do it against an armed force.
Fair enough. Just a solid.
The thought gates can certainly repel things from the outside, but on the inside, be a different story. Now, are there any more questions?
Not from me.
Nor from me, sir. Thank you.
Nope.
And Otti?
Please relay our best wishes to the king.
Verity has a question, which is, I want access to spells. Can I get them, I think?
You'll have to speak to someone at the menagerie if you require them.
Cool.
I'm sure there are many available to purchase there. Why would a discount be provided to you?
We are on the king's business.
I mean, as you say that, Verity, you see the slight frown over one of his eyebrows. You get the sense that you may have insulted him a little.
It's an insult to understand that people have less money than yourself, sir, and that we may need spells in order to complete our missions.
Do you say that out loud?
I do say that out loud.
He looks to you and he says, it's an insult to suggest that I am the type of person that applies discounts like some common store clerk.
We're not asking you to apply the discounts, we're asking the store
Then why
to
ask
apply
me if there
discounts.
is a discount to be had then?
We're asking if the store
I was
would
just
have the
asking
possibility
in the sense that if you were to drop your name, would stores be likely to give us discount if we were helping you in your assignments?
That is something for you to discuss with the store clerks, not an oath sworn.
Understood,
I was
sir.
just
Thank you
asking.
very much for your time.
I will take your agreeable services and your comments to the king. Have a very fine day, and I hope your success will come soon. Men and the Jukai Knights who were forming essentially a box around you immediately form in to effectively create a testudo of Jukai Knights around him, and they start marching away. You can see his cape is billowing, but there's no wind.
It's a
I
cape
want one of those, I want a cape of...
I bow as he leaves and thank him.
As soon as his back is turned, I wave. Bye.
So, you get the feeling that the meeting was mostly positive. A few comments certainly soured a perfect meeting.
We did alright. Well done, guys. That was actually really good for us. That was so good.
We have now entered a part of the campaign where you are effectively now going to be choosing your own paths. So, out of the 5 tasks, which ones are we going to be doing?
I want to do the menagerie.
I really want to do the arena, just because I like fighting in arenas, I'm sorry.
Can I be political / tactful?
No.
If we feel that the knights aren't allies, shall we say, do we want to strengthen the position that the capital has within Windward? Do we want to eliminate their enemies?
I'm not happy with taking out the ice giants, because basically, them taking out the ice giants is nothing more than their fucking racism. They haven't actually done a fucking thing.
I say we find the ice giants.
Rennas, it's a common history that Windward and the ice giants have been in many, many wars in the past. There is a constant rivalry between the two. There is currently
it takes one side to stop any conflict. You can justify the past to carry on any conflict ever.
History has proven that if it's not you guys who does it, then it will be somebody else.
And if it's not Windward who does it, then it'll be the Frost Giants who do it.
And 10 years from now, this will be proof that Windward can't be trusted because we killed their leader.
To be honest, my biggest concern with the Ice Giants is that if we don't do it, they end up invading the capital and so many people die.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
that's obviously not a plus.
I mean, yes, but at the end of the day, is that not what we've got? Well, the capital has, the Knights and the Oathsworn and the Jurassians and the Giants and the Guards for.
They'll lose more of their men. That's not any sweat on us. I think
again, this is
the bulk of military forces are usually consisted along the eastern border of Windward, basically in direct preparation of any potential invasion from the Frost Giants.
Did we have a time frame for all these things, or
no? You did not have a time frame.
If anything, an attack by the Frost Titans might give us the distraction and leverage we need to conduct other operations in the city.
Wow.
I think the Menagerie could offer us a plethora of options and access to knowledge even as well.
Well, we should go there anyway. But
the Menagerie is a Necromancer one, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm on board with that because that is blatantly our best flag to get into any district. Yeah, like there's definitely activity there.
That's our best flag to get anywhere in the city.
Well, we don't even have to say we're going there because there's a lead. We just say we're investigating all districts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leave it blank as that.
So that one's a definite plus for me, is the necromantic activity. And I think the other no-brainer is hunting down in Dragon Guy.
Vectra.
Because, let's be fair, I want to kill Vectra anyway. He's a cunt.
We already have beef with
and
that.
Plus, if we can get word to Reichstag, there's a good chance he's going to help us on that, which, how easy a battle is that going to be?
Yeah,
I'm going to regret saying that in this battle with Vectra.
Yeah, I get the feeling we're going to get walled a little bit with Reichstag is still recovering from his wounds kind of thing.
Yeah.
From the battle, from the mental taxation of being mind-controlled for God knows how long.
I think we should try to stay within the walls of the city as well, especially if we're waiting for this express delivery of a resurrection scroll.
True.
This is true. I do genuinely like the idea of me dashing ahead to the Frost Gates, telling them all to hide all the open rebellion for the inspection that's coming up. And then we leave the inspector in and like, yeah, no, it's fine. And then we all go, yeah, we've got to open the gates, but technically,
if we're not
Edgar's been to the gates, Edgar's now left the gates.
We need to do too.
But as far as we know, Edgar's left the gates. He's not going to know the gates are open for a little while at least. I'm not planning on retiring in this city, we'll be long gone by the time he gets his ass back here.
Just saying, the necromancy and the dragon one are the only ones we really need to do if we're only doing two and we're not going for the boon.
Yes. I
if
do
we
want
were,
to do all five, but
if
I
we
don't
were
want
going
to
do opening the gate, I would make the recommendation of doing that last, so that if we do spend 4 days doing XYZ, we don't have to leave Jairus Jakai as Edgar's forces are coming in, for example.
Yeah, no, I'm game for that. I completely agree.
The ring one, because that sounds simple.
Oh yeah.
Should we take a vote first on whether we want to do just the two together, or whether we want to do all five? Because that will definitely determine which one. I am game for doing all five, but I'm going to stick it in the chat and say, I want to do five.
So basically 2 or 5.
Between 2 and 5, effectively. You can do as many
you
of
could throw
them
the champion pit in there as well, just because, those can be fun.
But it didn't imply there was any benefit to doing 3 or 4. There's a boon for doing 5, and we get the ordinance for doing 2. There was nothing suggested there was a benefit.
I know.
So we either do 2 or we do 5.
So we've got Otti saying 2, we've got Loic saying 2, Arri specifically 3.
Just to call shit on my, there's no benefit of doing.
I feel like we should just do 2.
Well, it very much appears that I'm outvoted, which is fine. Which, in that case, I reckon...
You've cut out Rennas. I think it's because your headset is up. Is it?
No, it's really not. My headset is by me. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello, can you hear me?
Do you want game mechanics to assist you in your decisions, by the way?
Sure. Sways us.
Each one of those quests is worth a level up.
What? Who?
So there's 5 level ups, or like I need 1 level up to get raised dead. Just making everyone aware.
Let's go do the pit now.
We could do the champion pit in one day then.
I believe anyway. What level am I? I'm a level 1 fighter and I'm a level 8. Yeah, so level 9 is when I get... Level 9 cleric is when I get raised dead.
Maybe we should gain some information on the pit before we do it. Cause...
Yeah, I feel like that's jumping in, and it's like, so you've got a 24-hour waiting time alone just before the first fight.
Now,
and then
all
each
of those quests can last between 2 to 5 sessions. So,
wow.
So we could be doing this for a while.
It really does depend on how you play them.
Well, then how about we start with Vectra and the Necromancers, and see how we feel after that. We can play it by ear.
We can rest in between these quests as well.
Oh god, yeah.
So if there's
you have no time frame to do this, so effectively, what you guys want to do in the campaign,
how long we spend on it is how long we spend on it. If we say we want to do 1 or 2, or if we say we want to do 2 and then just move on with main story, we can do that. If we want to do 5, we can do that.
Yeah, do we have to
exactly
do now, or should we just do 2, see how we feel?
Yeah, no, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. We'll go out and kill Vectra, because Vectra is a cunt and Vectra needs to die. And we'll go out looking for Necromancers, because that'll help us get into every aspect of the city, either through genuine investigation or through us lying like a bastard.
Close to him.
Yeah, teleportation into the menagerie, then we might be able to get
closer to Vectra.
Yeah.
I gotta free my people. That's gonna be one of my main motives if we're doing the necromancy. All cards on the table.
All right, so am I to understand that we'll be doing the necromantic cults first?
So again, if we're going down the free the elves, that kind of makes our whole audience with the king thing rather redundant, because there's going to be open war within the city if we free the half elves.
The goal is to get them out. I mean, it's rough, right?
It's not going to be peaceful. Look, simply put, Clayton, it's not going to be peaceful.
To save the elves, though, because they're actually just go up to the king and petition, hey, look, these guys don't want to be here. You don't want them here. Let me take them away from you.
Oh, I really didn't know.
What I was suggesting with the dragon, we do. Like, get all these things, just be like, you don't.
The situation they've been put in is beyond diplomacy, especially considering the current king is the one who enacted all of these reforms.
Unfortunately, the freeing of the half elves, I feel like, has to be our very last thing. Otherwise, it's just all going to go to shit.
It can well be a priority while still having to be the last thing we do, and I do agree with that.
Research it, we can find ways of doing it, we can get allies, all that shit. But
we could even do it in the way of we reopen the tunnels, the dwarven tunnels, while we're there in the ice caves, to give them an easier passage out, so they don't have to go through the cross gates and they can use the old tunnels.
I think
there are a lot of things we can do.
If we could at least get in there, though, and start to build up some idea of what's going on, because, no one's even been in there, so we don't even know what we're dealing with. So if we could start that scheme early.
Exactly. But don't rush into shit, please, Loic. I know you want to get your brethren out, but
don't pull a Rennas.
Got shit to do.
Wow.
Oh.
We know it's your priority. We want to help them too, but rushing it is gonna fuck everything. We just gotta take it slow.
Immediately, all the clout we've earned inside the city is going to be gone.
Everything we do has to be premeditated. We have to think it through.
I agree. It depends. If that's something that we can legitimately push for, it would just depend on when we'd want to finish that, because there are out-of-game influences, right? Because I probably realistically have 4 to 6 sessions, so I couldn't feasibly do 2 or 3 of these quests. So it would just depend how we will want to set that up logistically.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully by then we'll be speaking to the king, and we can take it from there. If we can be tactful and organized about us doing these quests, we can get through them. If we cannot basically pull in ice caves, argue about everything and then finally come to a decision because it's the only thing we all agree on, we can get these done probably quite quick. Or at least in a session or two rather than, 10.
Yeah, just keep our eyes on the prize. Not even rushing them, but just stay focused on what our goal is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so vote in chat what quest you want to do first, I guess.
Oh, three.
I feel like the necromancer one's going to take us the longest because we've got some investigating to do.
Yeah, and that's why I put pit, because I feel like it's going to take the least amount of time. And if it is a case of we have to wait 24 hours before we can enter into it, at least then we can kind of maybe look into where Vectra is, but then Vectra may get away.
Only time frame we have is 6 days. 6 days until Malkaya is no longer able to be raised deaded.
Yeah, we gotta try to stay in the city for that 6 days.
Which is either my level up or is Reichstag's scroll of raised dead.
Yeah. And I think pit would be the quickest one for us to do, because Vectra is probably way out of the city by now.
Probably.
Necromancers are going to take a very long time. Ice Giants are going to leave the city.
I mean,
and I've forgotten what the other one is.
To be fair, with that logic, we could...
His name's Vectra the Fast, so name suggests he can get away pretty quickly.
We could...
the Edict across gates was the last one.
I mean, if the pit's a series of fights and the necromancers are a series of investigation, we could at least start both at the same time, right? Or potentially, and just see what they have as a lead for the necromancers, so we're at least primed if we see any suspicious activity.
The pit is right there. Let's just do that first.
I made up the whole 24 hours thing. Like that's all. I literally just said that. Like if we enter, that's when the fighting starts. It's not like we turn up and then the championship begins, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if there is a wait,
then
we can do something else while we're waiting. But let's look into it first, like Lesley just said.
Yeah, it's simple.
Okay, I'm happy with pit, so I will, as I said, put in chat. So we've got 4 for pit now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Rennas was polite and said arena.
Yeah, better than fighting no pit.
Well, it's just called ring, so.
I mean, it's Dumar's ring, don't you know?
Well, I'm all over Dumar's ring, but let's just keep it professional and fight in the arena for now.
Korgrin,
Aye.
are you at a level where you have any kind of like binding or grounding spells that would affect a dragon?
No. Simply put.
See, so we don't need to level up until we can get these kind of spells to deal with the dragon when we get to it.
That's what druids have.
I get. Is it?
Tangle. It's not great, but I've got it.
I will say though, I want magic arrows before we go into the pit.
Yeah, I do have entangle.
But is that going to work on the dragon?
I was going to say, what's the thing that keeps it down? There is a specific ability, like it stops things flying.
It stops things from flying, yeah.
Like
if there were a fiend, I just had to hit them on the flying.
No, there is actually, yeah.
Cleric, subclass, what am I for? Level 5.
I hold monster.
I don't
have I mean, yeah, whole monster is at level 5, but then that goes into the whole legendary resistances of a dragon. I know this is meta at this point, but legendary resistances of a dragon is.
Like, to be fair, when he's picking spells, you're always going to meta automatically anyway.
Yeah, you are. I'm going into this situation, therefore I need this spell.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to end any situation.
I believe we'll be doing the pit first, while simultaneously starting the necromancy cult.
Depending on how it goes.
Yeah, depending on how quick the pit is going.
We want info first.
Yeah, like we need to find out whether it can be like we're going to the pit, we get straight into a fight, or we go to the pit and it's 3 days until the next battle.
Makes sense. We can't
just do some retcon, please.
Basically, actually find out when the championship starts and how long it goes.
Jack, I mean, I've heard of this place before. Do I have any information as to kind of the timeline these things operate on?
Yeah, the Dumas Championship will begin on the morrow.
And will it like? Is this like
how
a
does it
month-long
function?
event?
Yeah. Is it a
Pardon?
tournament?
Like how will it last? Like, are fights pretty rapid fire, or like if you're fighting?
It's an event that lasts a day.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's a 1 day thing. Okay.
easy. We'll just bash each other's skulls until we're dead or they're dead.
But is that multiple fights a day? Is there like rounds that we progress through, or?
I'm assuming so.
I'm a bit worried we may have to PvP. Just putting that out there.
I was gonna say, what if it's like?
Well, then I apologise to you all for killing you.
You only, I mean, I'll tell you mechanically now. You'll only have PvP if you sign up as different factions.
Okay, so we could be on teams. Are spells allowed?
Can we pick a team
Magic?
game? Maybe make a
Magic?
team flag.
Magic is allowed. Magical items are allowed, and killing is allowed.
So we might find out that the necromantic cults are related to Dumas Ring, and that the disposed of corpses are given to the cult for whatever purpose. So
That's what I'm saying. Like,
cross over to me.
Like, we could at least get a briefing from these guys. You know what I mean?
Although, to be fair, there's no shortage of dead bodies at the capital, so everyone is starving to death. So,
also, to be fair, if we
Barry's
know more about
task was to tell you your orders. He wasn't there to do anything else.
Like, I mean, if we at least heard what these guys had, then we'd have our ears and eyes perked up wherever we went, you know, even if we weren't actively pursuing it.
So,
the only thing we could do
as
to learn
the,
more about it is
as the
obviously
party completes this discussion, you all turn to go back inside the inn because it's quite cold out here and you want to warm up a little bit. And as you turn, there is an individual leaning on the just staring at you. The familiar yet mysterious hooded figure of Talion. He's looking at you and he says, "Well, making friends in high places, I see."
I wouldn't say friends, but...
Aye, we don't need you anymore. Be gone. No, it's good to see you.
Oh, holy shit.
Ah, you hurt my heart with that one, Korgrin.
I'm only joking, my friend. I just said it, but it's good to see you. It is genuinely good
I've
to
never
see
seen a dwarf with a sense of humour. Ha 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 ha. Sorry, that was a joke.
you. Oh, my heart.
Right.
I'm the comedian of the group.
I'll go and give them a hug.
Are you?
A wily to your ways, young Verity. And I can tell the difference between prestidigitation egg and a real egg.
Not when you're drunk.
Yes, well, I'm not drunk, am I? He returns the hug to you, Arrabella. And he looks at you and says, "It's really good to see you again."
It's good to see you too.
So, my friends were a dead end. Unfortunately, they're no longer there. But I've gotten a good layout of the city. My apologies, but I did overhear pretty much that entire conversation.
Somehow I feel like it wasn't an accident.
Well, no, of course. I purposely listened in because it was interesting. That guy was an oathsworn. Of course I want to listen to whatever he has to say.
Fair enough. I did say there was a problem.
I mean, like, I'm not spying on you guys. I was spying on him, if that makes a difference, I guess.
I'm all good with some lighthearted spying, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Spy. Let's everybody spy on each other. How about that?
I'd rather you don't.
Yeah, well, in any case, if you allowed me, I'd like to join you.
Yes.
Of course, you're welcome.
Could use all the help
more
you
the
can give.
merrier.
Now, obviously, you know, I'm happy to protect you in any way. I can do that from afar or in combat. It really
Meat
prepares.
shield.
I don't want to be a meat shield. I already took one blight. I don't
I'm
want to
kidding,
take.
man. You're too strong to be a meat shield, bro.
in combat is always good, Talion, and I take out his survival knife. I do a little flourish in my fingers and spin it around and just hand it over to him handle first.
I want you to make a dexterity check.
I mean, you had to, didn't you? You know I'm going to roll on that one again. It's just straight dex.
Yeah.
You don't have the ring anymore. Oof.
That's a
Oh, God!
It's the coolest thing you ever saw.
It is perfect. And he takes the hand and he just looks at it and goes, "Wish I could do that."
I wish I could do it again.
He throws the knife away and says, "I appreciate it, thank you."
Yeah, everyone was looking away.
Throws. I thought you said throws. I was like, what?
Well,
Alien blinked. It was.
well, you guys are in charge. I'm following your lead. Where to first? And that's where we'll end the session.
Nice.
Nowhere. That's